everything of this, which I will show you in a second. And that's the wrong one. How about Hey, my face is in here somewhere. Where am I? Ah, there I am. Oh my God, man, I got this green screen going on in the background, and I didn't adjust it. My apologies. Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marc B, and I will be your host for the evening as I try to adjust my green screen. Oh, I missed out on it. Thank you for joining me this evening. This was kind of a last thing I wanted to do the show. I just kind of reached out to my friends, and of course, not all of them, but a lot of them, and most of them here are my actually all of them here, being diplomatic, all of them here are my absolute favorites. Okay, so I got the blue screen going on here. I can turn it on and off or whatever if I look a little freaky to people. If you guys are joining into the chat room, you can go ahead and comment on the show as much as you possibly can. I'll try to put up the really, really interesting ones up on the screen. We may blow up the internet, just so you know. If we lose people, if you lose me, don't worry. We'll get back on somehow. A message for Jerome and Rose, who are my co-hosts for Saturday Morning Cartoons. We are broadcasting from 8 platforms tonight. Okay, we have access to 8 platforms. Some of them I don't even know what they're called. I just joined them. I don't know what this purple thing. What is this group anyway? Let me look at this. Oh, I'm on Twitch. That's it, Jerome. I'm on Twitch. We're on so many YouTube channels. But here's the bad news. I am actually also in Facebook jail, Jerome. Facebook jail. You know why? Because of last week's Saturday Morning Cartoon show. So I am being paroled at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow morning before our next criminally incorporated show on Saturday Morning Cartoons. But I've been in Facebook jail for a week for 2 of our channels, or 3 of our channels, I think. We're not broadcasting from the Nanny Boo Boo. Saturday Morning Cartoons is running good. All right, here's the deal. We are having a chat amongst friends. Why are we having what are we a chat amongst friends about? About our convention experience. It's about our multi-decade convention experience for many of us here, because I actually average approximately, it's not an average, that's stupid, but I've actually been doing conventions for 40 years. Okay, I had to do the math, and don't you guys even try, but for 40 years, I have been a part of convention. And something very, very tragic, oh my dear God, something very, very tragic has happened. They're saying my mic is going in and out. People that are in the lobby, I can see you but cannot hear you. If I'm sounding good, just put your thumbs up. If I'm sounding bad, put your thumb down. And I'll see how to fix this. Oh my God, there's too many thumbs down. Let's see. It's, sorry. Stand by. We're going to have technical difficulties. That's what happens when you are doing. Let me see if I can switch. Testing. That one's not good. Testing 1, 2. Oh, wait a minute. How do I sound? Testing 1, 2, 3. I see all the thumbs going up. Okay, I switched over. Cheryl says, I'm gravity. I'm gravelly. Oh, gravelly. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Cheryl, if you don't like the way I sound. Alex, I see you there. And wow, a lot of people are popping in. Joe's saying it's better. A lot of people are thumbs down when I ask for thumbs down. Tara saying I'm looking. Oh, Sage is very happy. Okay, had to switch over to another. So, all right, here's the thing. There have been a lot of convention experience that our panel of judges have here, our panel of speakers, shall I say. We have a lot of people who can't get on yet because the lobby is full. So bear in mind, as we listen to people and kick people out, we can bring more people on. Hopefully, I'll have a very special guest that will decide to pop in, quote unquote. He or she may be watching us as we speak. And the reason this special guest does not want to come on is because many of us have lost a very, very good friend today. And she was a very, very good friend of mine. I can call her a good friend of mine. And I usually call celebrities good friends when I know I've been around them numerous times and not just one convention experience, okay, but numerous times. This young lady, I've been around her numerous times. And let me tell you a short story about Mira Furlan. Mira Furlan, as you know, was Delenn on Babylon 5, one of my most favorite sci-fi shows when CGI work was horrible. And you know, but it was good for us because we didn't really see anything else more comparable to it on television. So what we saw on Babylon 5 was kind of groundbreaking for a lot of us. Mira unfortunately passed expectantly with a number of the Babylon 5 cast because they didn't know, especially Straczynski knew that something was coming. Mira is fantastic in person. She's the most real, the most genuine woman you'll ever meet. She's shy at some point. She can be shy. She's very cute. She has a cute laugh. She has a great smile. Mira, I brought to Germany one year and was fantastic. Actually, it was her first convention appearance, and it was immediately, I think, after Babylon had started. I am not sure about that or not. Mira was Croatian, okay? And at a time when Babylon was filming, Yugoslavia was in their civil war, heavy fighting, whole 9 yards. Her husband was Serbian, living in Orlando area and having an international cast of workers from countries all over the world. I came across people in gift shops and restaurants and whatever. Their name badges, especially Disney employees, will also show where they're from, as well as a number of cruises that I've been on. The name badges will show where they're from. When I see Serbia or Croatia, I immediately get their attention and say, hey, I have a friend you may know of. And I would mention Mira's name, and you would see their faces and their eyes bright up. And it's like, oh my God, you're lying, aren't you? You know Mira Furlan, blah, 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 blah. And of course, it's such a joy to see that they know who she was, because we did not know who Mira was prior to Babylon 5. And then, of course, she went on to play Rizzo on Lost, which was a great role for her too. But she was an incredible convention guest, very, very approachable, very passionate, emotional about fans. She wasn't false there to make the money, anything like that. So that was Mira Furlan, and I miss her, and I love her, and I hope one of my guests, somebody's gonna have to be booted. Hopefully she'll message me first. Uh-oh, I'm getting a message here again. Sounding bad. Unplug that headset. Yes, sir. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Am I sounding better? Thumbs up, thumbs down, anybody? Am I sounding better? I sound better. Hansi, Jerome, you guys are giving me thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Yeah, it must be the earphones. I don't know, whatever. So anyway, Mira Furlan is gone, and she died at the age of 65. The nature to her death is unknown at this time. I'm sure all the Babylon cast people know how, or rather know how she died. But I'm not going to press that point. It's irrelevant how she died. She's gone. So we will miss her. All right, let's get on with our show. Now, as you saw in the beginning, there was an opening video, not the Baby Yoda one, because I would never call him by his real name. That is Baby Yoda. Okay, so let it be written, so let it be done. A lot of you guys saw a lot of the video that you saw called Follow Me. And they were just basically photos from my favorite convention of all time. And of course, you can see here in the photos that I'm putting up that this is what we are missing throughout 2020. I can't remember the last, I'm going to ask all our panelists, I'm going to ask them exactly what was the last convention that they attended. And I think I was supposed to be in April, was supposed to be in the Greater Philadelphia Comic Con. I think that was April, but I thought I was supposed to be somewhere, somewhere else. I contracted COVID the end of January of last year when it didn't have a name. I was treating it as the flu, thought I had the flu, treating it as the flu, but I added a special few touches to my treatment, and that was basically garlic, constantly chewing on garlic, zinc, and hot soup, and I knocked it out in 3 or 4 days, and I went back to work, okay? My coughing that you may hear from me occasionally is the damage that was left from COVID. There is damaged lungs. Remember, I didn't know what it was, and until we moved forward into the year, all these things started to make sense. And a lot of you who do not have COVID now and who did not have it prior to January or December may have had it and didn't know what to associate it with. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up, bring up a few of my cast members here. I'm going to try and put as many of them up on the screen. Might be a good idea to unmute them to hear them talk. I'm not sure you want to hear them talk, but we have no choice. There's a show going on, so we are forced to hear them talk. All of my good friends here. Can I get up there? Where's Lee? What the hell are you? Hold on, Lee. I gotta get to your hair. Lee, is someone want to tell you, buddy? I don't know if you realize this, but you're in your own damn house, Lee. In your own damn, okay? All right. If you wanna look like an idiot, I will full screen your ass.
Isn't that the carpet for the hotel too?
Lee, yes. I love that.
Lee,
that
oh my God, it is carpet.
It is carpet and mask, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
carpet
God.
and mask.
It's Bernie Sanders.
Holy crap.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders. That's how Bernie Sanders.
You just need the mittens.
So
the good thing about Lee is we can't see his mouth move. Okay, so
we'll take
do I
care
have
of that.
everybody so far? Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there's more people at the bottom. Brad, I got you. John, I got you. Rose, you're here. Joe, where are you, Joe? I guess I didn't bring you up yet, Joe. Stand by. Let's see if I can squeeze you in there. Nope, 10 people is the limit. We'll switch you out, Joe. Stand by. I got a lot to, and so do me a favor, the people that are in the lobby, just go ahead and listen to the question, because I'm going to drop somebody and bring you up just so you can answer it. And of course, we do have our chat room here where everybody can come. Who the hell has a nice haircut? Oh, yes. Dina, I told Rose she had a fantastic haircut.
Uh-oh, Rose.
I told her she has a. Yeah, who's muted?
I think Rose.
Oh, yes, she is.
Yes, stand
by. I need to unmute
Dina.
Jennifer. Go ahead, say that again, Rose. Sorry, I spoke over you.
Uh-oh.
I just want to say thank you, Dina.
Okay, Dina. All right. So anyway, we have a lot of people that are watching tonight. That's a good sign. The problem is with all of the comments that are coming up on the screen, I cannot put them all up. Okay, it's just too many. But I'm loving it. I can read it off. Cheryl mentioned Farpoint. Yeah, I can read them off. So, welcome my incredible cast of panelists. I think there are 6 more that are trying to get into the lobby and into the waiting room. But I chose you guys for a reason, and that reason is I know all of your relationships to conventions. Almost 100, I would say 99.9% of you I have been at conventions with. Okay, I've been in the same breathing space, minus COVID-19 with. Jerome's the only one that's on this screen that I have not been at a convention with, and that will change someday once all this crap is over. All right, so I'm going to go around the board, especially as you guys are in position here. So Jerome's going to be the first. I want you, Jerome, to tell me really briefly, guys, really briefly, because we got a lot of people, your relationship with conventions and what is it that you miss the most. Jerome, go.
My relationship is that I met both my wives at conventions. So I found love there. I miss my friends. I miss hugging my friends and going
Can you
into
stop for a minute? Can you stop for a minute? Because you shouldn't have
Yeah.
said that, because I have no choice but to do this. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love.
Oh, Mark.
Oh my
looking for
God.
many
I knew he was
places.
going to do that. I knew he was going to do that.
Okay,
Can
I'm
you
done.
mute
done.
Mark on this?
Yeah, I
I'm
can't.
sorry.
I don't have the technology to mute Mark. I miss
I'm
the midnight
I'm sorry.
conversations where you go into a corner of a room somewhere, you got a couple of drinks, and you just have great long conversations.
Bravo. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So there you go.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I got to single you, unsingle you now. And how do I do that? Do I have to press that button there? Does that work? No, that sucks. We're still looking at Jerome,
There
ladies
we
and gentlemen. All right. The mad scientist is also known as Dennis Cutter. Dennis, I actually met in 2020, I think, but I think you knew of me at conventions at least, but I think we met personally once the Kitchen Killers formed up.
Yeah, we've crossed paths on a few different occasions, but you know, when you got 50,000 people around you, it's kind of hard to get to know a guy. But I think we've become closer since the whole Kitchen Killers thing seemed to happen, and we actually had a chance to sit down, have a meal together.
Yeah. Oh, we did? Oh, at the Kitchen Killers thing. Yes. So the question goes to you. What is your relationship with conventions, and what do you miss the most?
Well, I kind of work as a cosplayer. I'm part of a cosplay team based of myself, my wife, and my daughter. A lot of times at the conventions, we handle a lot of the children's entertainment. So I often do times as the sorting hat for Harry Potter sorting hat ceremony, and occasionally do story time as the Joker. So I miss entertaining kids, and that social aspect is also kind of missing because I've got a lot of friends that I don't see outside of the costume world. I don't see them outside of conventions. So, you know, not having that type of socialization has left a bit of a void.
Yeah, I agree. And how about you, John? John's my buddy, my longtime buddy with Dragon Con. In fact, I worked under him as an auctioneer for many years at Dragon Con. We both moved on to bigger and better things, although I only do the art auctions there now while I'm doing other things. So, John, thank you for joining us this evening. This is pretty much trying to relate ourselves to the void that has been given to us during 2020. And I'd like to ask you the same question. What exactly is your relationship with conventions? What is it that you miss the most?
All right. Well, hopefully, first off, everyone can hear me. I had to switch over to a head mic. But anyways, Mark, I've been with Dragon Con now for 26 years. Started as a volunteer. At one point, I was senior director of guest services, was director of the charity auction, in which, as you mentioned, you worked with me. And then now in some respect, I work for you, especially during the parade. You're amazing with the kids during the parade, and I love it. The thing I miss the most, I think, is the hugs. I mean, there are people that I only see once a year, and that just happens to be Dragon Con at that convention. And, you know, 80,000 people, but yet for some reason I can always find the people that I want to find and give them hugs, talk about what's been on for the last year, how they've been doing, and then the networking. I mean, I'm currently now working more in the dealer's room, so I've been able to network a lot more with some of the dealers, and just a void. I mean, it really is. It was so weird with 2020 being canceled, and me talking to my friends that are there, and we all like something's missing. And it was that camaraderie, that friendship, and that love that we all have for each other.
Okay. All right. That's great. Folks in the chat room, if you want to post your own absences in the convention season, go ahead and do so. I'll be glad to put them up so other people can hear you. This woman I've had the hots for the longest freaking time. She is absolutely wonderful, beautiful. She's cool. She's kind of goth. She's full of freaking tats. She probably got her armpits tatted. But she is wonderful. She's a independent film. Oh, don't do that. Oh my God, I was right. Hold on, let me put the full screen here. I can actually smell them from here. Smells like ink. That smells like ink. I'm telling you, I'm scratching the screen as we speak. I'm scratching it. And
way to stay classy there, Mark.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I tell it like it is. You guys do know I always tell the truth, and I never pull any punches. But Hansi, I never knew if they pronounce it Hansi or Hansi.
Hansi.
Say it again. I think
Hansi.
Yeah, you
not coming across.
Got it. Okay.
No, I heard her.
Okay.
Yeah, it was slowed up. Yeah, it skipped a little bit there, but yeah. So Hansi basically, let's see, Hansi, we met at Mega or Dragon, or where do we meet?
The first time we met was Wizard World Philly, and
oh my God,
came up
I
to you
forgot all about
afterwards
that.
and said, you know, what a great moderator you were, because you were so much fun. I stayed for panels that I wouldn't have stayed for just to watch you. And then of course, you know, I saw you, you know, every time at Dragon Con, and you know, it's been years, you know, where we've run into each other at cons. And
yeah, you just like my butt. That's all you were doing. You were just basically watching my butt. You weren't even watching the panel.
I just think what you do is amazing, and you bring people into it, and that is a real gift.
Well, this is not about me. It's about you and what you missed, your experiences with conventions, because you've actually done some moderating yourself, which I'm so proud of you for what you're doing right now. But so that's a relationship. So also in the question, what do you miss?
Well, so because I'm a documentarian and my topic is studying pop culture and fandom, you know, basically that's my whole life is, you know, talking to people at cons and videotaping them and then making videos. The last year I had been working on a documentary about the writer Joe Barr Lansdale, and we had, you know, screenings planned, and of course they were all canceled. I just I miss the interaction, and I miss being able to screen my work with a live audience, because you can't really tell what your work looks like until you do it, you know, with real people in the room, and you can read the room. So it's you know, and you know, otherwise I work box office and events. So my whole world kind of just became this room this last, you know, since March, essentially.
Right.
I miss it all. Especially the drinking.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah. Thank God you said that. Oh my goodness, man. I know that in the short amount of time that we have, there's some serious, like Lee, and stop swishing that ice cube in the speaker, you knucklehead. The drinking, I have some horror stories. I have some great stories. I'll get to one of that. I have at least one more question for each of you, but we're still focusing on the first one. So bear with me, because the next round of questions may embarrass you all. So just gear up. Bring back all your experiences with conventions forward into your brain here, because you're going to need it, because you're going to have a problem. Jim Yeager is probably one of my closest friends, especially in the conventions world. Usually his only thing that comes out of his mouth is this is the way, or I have spoken. Exactly. He knows nothing beyond those two phrases, but I'm going to try and pull more out of him. Tell me your relationship, Jim, with conventions, and what is it you're missing right now?
Well, I used to run conventions way back in the day when I first met you, early 90s, late 80s.
Quiet,
but
quiet.
Not recently, not in the last 25 years or so. But what I miss most about the conventions is dressing up as a Klingon, waving my batleth around, and having people come over and want to touch my batleth. I love people touching my batleth. It's incredible.
Well, since you mentioned touching,
No, I don't know about that one.
Do you want to touch my batleth?
Hold on.
I'm telling you,
for all the ladies. Hold on, this is for all the ladies right now.
Mark, where'd you get that?
Well, I took pictures in the mirror. Okay, you asked, but
He's
anyway.
He's got pictures like they do in the National Enquirer. He's got a secret vault somewhere.
Hey,
yeah,
my
but they
head
didn't
is
have
not
their
posted.
batleths out though.
My head is not posted on top of anybody. So okay, so we got that from you, Jim. Let me go down to my buddy Lee here. Lee, you're gonna have to tell these people how we met. But sticking with the question as well, what's your association with conventions, and what do you miss?
Well, my association with conventions is primarily Dragon Con. I've also attended the now defunct Heroes and Villains convention, also in Atlanta. I began attending in 2012 with one of my friends and my wife, and I now have been volunteering with the guest transportation department for about 3 years now. And I also—
That's how we met, right? Isn't it how we met?
That's how we met, was actually at the parade because of the truck.
Oh, yes, because of the truck that has that same carpet pattern all over the truck.
Yes.
Right.
And so I mean, when they started taking the carpet out, I managed to secure a circle of the carpet itself, and then I had the crazy idea that they might decide to be able to do something in the parade. And so I have, for those who may not have seen it before, I've got a Ford F-150 XLT crew cab pickup truck that is wrapped in the Marriott carpet pattern.
I couldn't find the picture. Oh,
yeah.
What's that? What am I looking at? Hold on. Who is that? Oh, this is John. John, what do you got there?
Oh, yeah. And
he has an Avengers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you can see it.
Yeah, you muted yourself, John. I'll unmute you. Hold on. Yeah, John, what is that?
You got it.
A couple years ago, somebody did Avenge the Carpet patches with the Avengers logo there. And so I put the patch in there, put it in the shadow box, and it hangs on a wall here in my room.
And it's amazing how that carpet just went, viral. Like, and it's all in disgust, because not in disgust of the carpet, but the fact that the Marriott removed that carpet, which was there for years, and then all of a sudden we come back one year and it's gone, and the people went up in an uproar. And next thing you know, it's all over the internet. Much like Bernie Sanders, that's how that carpet kind of went.
Good comparison. Good comparison. I love that picture with Bernie looking at your butt there, Mark. I saw that
right. Did you? Yeah. Well, and Lee wrapped an entire truck, or got the truck wrapped, and went on. And okay, let's go ahead and share some more stories. Who's next? I guess Rose is, right?
Well, Paul was, and then me, but it's
okay. Well, I'll go with you. Paul. Paul, you and I go way back in front. In fact, you were part of the beginning crew that pretty much indoctrinated me into conventions. So if anybody wants his name and address to send your assassin, we can provide that for you. But it's one of this guy's fault, as well as Jim, who basically got me into the convention experience 40 years ago. You know, and I'm only
I don't go back quite that far. With
okay.
The earliest I remember you from is about 30 years ago, early 90s, like Volcon.
When I
You
was
may have,
12. Yes, when I was 12. Yeah.
you may have. It's possible that you. I mean, I've been going to con since 1982. So it may be that we crossed paths earlier than the early 90s, and I just I just don't remember. But I think we've known each other about 30 years.
Okay, and tell me what it is you miss about cons.
I do miss seeing my friends, especially the ones who live out of state, because the cons were the opportunity. And there are even some who don't live that far away, but it's Cheryl, it would be Volcon. The thing is, we used to all, my closest friends, we used to all live within like 5 to 10 miles of each other, and now we're spread all over. So, you don't just hop in the car and go to Germantown and hang out for a couple of hours. So yeah, not seeing my friends for a long time is kind of a drag. If not for COVID, sure, we might have had we might have on occasion gotten together between the cons. But with the COVID restrictions and everything, I've got friends I haven't seen in nearly a year. And I've got others who I see them online. We've done the occasional Zoom.
Gotcha.
But yeah, not seeing my friends is a drag. I do miss hugs. I live alone. I have touched nobody in a year. Yeah.
We're going to go with that comment.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, like I said, some would consider that a good thing because I know who you are, Paul. So you better stay in your house. All right. So let me go ahead and move on to Rose. Like I said, I have a few more people I need to get up on the screen as I drop a few of you. And in fact, I can do that now because I got to get Jennifer and a few other people down. So I'm going to drop you guys just for a short while. So hang in there, Jim and Dennis and Rose. I'm going to get to you. Tell me your convention experience, maybe how we met, and exactly what is it that you miss.
Okay, well, I've been an avid con goer for about 25 years now. You and I met actually through Volcon and Vulcan events later on. I actually remember when we really connected was it was a Star Trek trivia that you did one night, and I was there, and we just had such a blast. So. But thanks to you, I got to work the other end of conventions, and I saw it through a whole new light. And I actually
that's the dirty end. I'm sorry. I got tired of working that end too. That's why I gave it to you.
So I've helped out with a couple of conventions. I've been a vendor at a couple of conventions, but what I miss is the people, the connections. I have so many friends that I originally met through Vulcan events. And, those friendships that you have for about an hour when you're waiting in line to meet somebody, and you just strike up a conversation, and you might not ever see them again, but they were like your best friend for like an hour, hour and a half while you're waiting. So that's what I miss. I miss the connection. I miss the people. And, that's the most important thing, I think.
Let me. It's really interesting what all of you have said. I hate to think, because I'm going to ask you guys this question out of sync here, but I'd hate to think that the only friends that we all have out there is people we know at conventions. I mean, a lot of us have family that we interact with. You have nieces, nephews, uncles. Well, yeah, okay. So raise your hand if. This might be an easy question. Raise your hand if you have more friends from conventions than you do in real life. Yeah, I'm hearing somebody's water sink going off. Raise your hand so I can mute you if that's you. Put your hand down. I hear. What is that?
It's somebody's taking a shower next in the bathroom.
Okay, so it's not Joe.
So why don't you drop me for right now? Because that's my water.
Oh, you were serious. Oh, I thought you were. I thought you were pointing at somebody else.
I thought Bobby was in that shower or something like that. It's all a dream. I don't know.
No,
it's really weird.
It was really being. Drop me.
And she's gone. That's not her. That's not her. That's weird. Oh well. I'm sure you guys will get it. So I'm gonna bring her back up anyway, but because since she was the last one who responded. So again, because I wasn't watching everybody, how many people have more friends from conventions than you do in real life? That's interesting. Yeah, Brad, not you, huh? You have more friends in real life, Brad, than you do at cons? Brad, can you hear me? You have a very slow connection, Brad. I can tell. That's why you're not coming through very well. I think you have a slow connection. Can you hear me, Brad? Wait till oh, he's gone. He'll come back in. But yeah, so it's interesting what Sage said too. Excuse me. Let me put up this response from Sage. Where is she? Convention friends are real friends.
and that's fine.
I agree. Thank you, Sage.
Yeah.
Sage
And let me so Gary's basically saying when we meet someone at work, we're there because we have to be for work. When we meet someone at school or somewhere else, we have to be. Our greatest connection is that we both have to be somewhere. Or Garrett, I'm gonna truncate the hell out of you someday. Have to be somewhere. Oh, my thing just fell down. Well, anyway, so we basically get the point. But he's right. Sometimes you don't make friends out of coworkers. They're coworkers. They're already established as coworkers. All right. Let's see. Brad is back up. I got a frog in my throat. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. No, oh, sorry. Just came out.
Coworkers,
Brad, look up.
Come and go.
Good boy. Can you hear us now, Brad? Yeah, that's a very. Are you on your phone, Brad?
Can you hear me,
Yeah,
Mark?
I can hear you.
Co-workers move in and out of your life.
Yes,
true. Hold on, I need to get to Brad.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry, my internet's
and you're
not doing too
right.
Hold on, Paul. I'm gonna mute you for a sec because I know you. Brad, you're on a slow internet connection, I think. Yes, he is. Wow, he's in Alpha Centauri. My message will hit him on Tuesday. Okay, Brad, you got a slow connection, dude. We're not doing too well.
Hear me, Mark?
Barely.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry.
Okay, Brad, somehow we're got a slow connection. So what I want you to do is answer the question and we'll all just listen, okay? 1001, 1002.
Sorry about that.
There it is.
I put some tinfoil on my phone.
All right. So like I said, Brad, just answer the question and we will listen. That means now.
I think he's on the 7-second delay.
Or does he even know what the question is?
There's a delay in my studio.
Seriously? Really? We hadn't noticed. Okay, Brad.
What's the question?
Okay. What is it that you miss mostly about
What's the question?
Okay, I think Brad's in West Virginia. I'm not sure, but you know, it's Brad, we tried. What I'm going to do is put you down into the lobby, and then I want you to type in the chat room or in the private chat, what is it you miss about conventions? In fact, I'm going to type it right now. What is it you miss about cons? And hopefully he will. Oh, he completely left. Okay. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Hold on. I'm fine. How are you?
I have 400 MBS speed in my internet. How about you?
I think we're on. Yeah, we've got 400 megabytes per second.
Yeah, 400.
I was just
okay.
muted.
All right.
Yeah, I was just muted. I had difficulty with my mute button.
Gotcha. Well, tell me your experiences with cons and what is it that you miss, dear?
Well, you started with a relationship with cons, and it started with me because I've always been, and I know you'll find this so surprising, socially awkward and overly scientific, so nobody wanted to talk to me. And
that's
so,
true. I've been trying to get away. I've been trying to get away from you for years.
I know that.
It ain't so, Jennifer. Please.
I know, shocker, isn't it? I mean, it's just unbelievable and completely out of character. But when I got to my first convention, I was like a senior in high school, and it was the first time I didn't have to explain who I was or explain what I wanted to be or explain why I was there. And it was just such an amazing feeling to not have to explain myself, to not have to feel like I was being judged by everybody around me, that I was just being accepted by them. And I fell in love with cons because of that. And then when in 2013, 2014, somewhere along in there, I found Dragon Con. No, it was even earlier than that, probably 2009, 2010, somewhere in that area. I found Dragon Con. And Dragon Con is like the ultimate acceptance of any convention out there. And it's now really the only one that I do on a regular basis. I'll go to other cons, but Dragon Con is like, it's home for me. And not being able to go home this year was completely devastating. It was I was almost inconsolable for like the 3 weeks leading up to it, the 5 days of it, even with Dragon Con Goes Virtual. And then when Dragon Con Goes Virtual went away, I probably cried for 2 days because it's just, that's how much it means to me. So there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading one of, let me get this picture off your face here, and I'm going to go ahead and put up one of Garrett. Garrett is an incredible interviewer, an incredible broadcaster, but you know, sometimes we need to get that microphone away from him because he has a lot to say, okay, in all honesty, and he has a lot of very interesting things to say. It may take him an entire week to say it all, and we're still a captive audience for a week, but he has
wow, I just
like Sage says, yes.
Wow.
What's that now?
I looked at some of those comments. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Garrett,
I think his family is really getting on his case now about having a mute button for him.
You know, Garrett is becoming an HR nightmare.
HR nightmare? Oh my God. Yeah. All right. So guys, next round here. This is a very complicated question, and I have to direct this explicitly.
You forgot Joe. You forgot about Joe.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, I never forget Joe. Why would I do that? I mean, I would never forget Joe. I love Joe. Joe's fantastic. I mean, he's the greatest guy. I wish he needs to speak up more. I know that for a fact. Joe needs to speak. He needs to put himself in the forefront. He shouldn't be shy and tell people exactly what it is he wants to say.
Oh my God.
Hi, Joe.
Yes. Hi. Hey.
He's such a shy, retiring type.
Yes, I really am. I'm basically, enclosed in like a little cocoon, and I don't like to talk very much at all. So.
You're a big teddy. You're a big teddy bear. I'm in love with your girlfriend. Please don't hit me. And I'm just happy that you're here, Joe. You really are. I'm really happy you're here.
Well,
tell us your
my answers. Yes. The answer is the question. Okay, so what do cons
Go for
mean
it.
to me? All right. Well, I remember my very first convention. I was probably like 8 years old. I was living in the Central Florida area. My dad took me to a convention. I don't know the name of it. I do know that we used to go to Enterprise 1701, down off Orange Blossom Trail
Oh my
when I
God,
was a
yes.
kid.
Okay. Yeah.
And my dad
Heard
was
of it.
friends with the owner, and he had a huge booth there. So it was a big Star Trek and comic convention. But then as I grew older, my first real convention, as I was a kind of older teen or early 20s, was Dragon Con. I was at Dragon Con 92, and then I went back once or twice else in the 90s. And then really, I've been to every Dragon Con since I think 2011 or 12. So, and what I miss most is honestly, it's the people. I mean, yeah, I love the spectacle. I love the huge panels. I mean, the first time I think I saw you was when you were interviewing Stan Lee, which I mean, Stan Lee's a personal hero of mine. But it really is the people. I have people that like John had mentioned, and a couple other people mentioned that I only see at Dragon Con every year.
Once a
And I
year.
mean these,
Yep.
yeah, and these are friends that we're friends on social media, or maybe even we text each other and things like that. But Dragon Con is where we see each other. And so during those 5 days, we get stupid, we hang out, we drink, we go see, celebrities together, we go see these niche panels and tracks that we absolutely love. I mean, I've seen so many things at Dragon Con I never thought I would see. Alton Brown, his
Oh my
panel,
God, yeah.
which, the funniest thing is the Alton Brown panel, where he announced that Good Eats was coming back, was probably one of the most packed out panels I've ever seen. And we waited in a 2.5 hour line to go to that show. Now, I waited for an hour and a half to see Stan Lee, who we all know is a pop culture icon, but 2.5 hours to see Alton Brown. I think it's because he's from Atlanta and stuff too. But I love and miss the spectacle. I miss the friends, the relationships, the family. My our good friend Chuck Corum, puts it this way. He says that it's our tribe, and our family, and a couple other people hit on that. It's the one place where you can go where you're not going to be judged. That it's just everybody's there to embrace what they love about pop culture and being a geek and loving this stuff and meeting other people who also love the same stuff you're into and other things they might open your mind to. It's the best, man. And Dragon Con is, to me, the pinnacle of it. It really is. So
That's fantastic. Thank you, brother. Stay on. That's fantastic. But I want
Pardon the
to say
interruption,
this
Mark.
to you. What?
Yeah, pardon the interruption.
Yeah.
Joe just brought up our illustrious emeritus hammer wielding Chuck Corum. In Chuck's honor, tonight I am drinking Old Smoky salted caramel whiskey.
Yeah.
Here's to Chuck.
Personally, I think you started 2 hours ago. Okay.
I haven't been home from work that long.
And I'm also the guy that did this little the dragon thing. A lot of people saw it during
Joe,
Dragon. Yeah.
We're concentrating on the beer right now, Joe. We're concentrating on the beer. Okay. Just so you know. Okay. All right. But Joe, that was fantastic what you said. I really appreciate that. I just wish people in the chat room would share a few of their experiences this is a great. Oh, I can't put this up on the screen what Brad said. Brad said, I miss the awesome volunteers and writers at the Shore Leave Convention in Hunt Valley. And that's at every convention I guess we can relate to. Guys, your next question is going to be very complicated. So I really need you to think very hard. I'm going to start with Jerome. Jerome's always quick on his feet, so I'm going to start with him. But this gives you each a chance to dig back into your brain. of the answer to the question I'm about to ask. This is very, very important. And Dennis, I'm pulling you guys back up. Oh, actually, I got space to pull Dennis up in there. And Jim, I'll come to you after I drop someone. We got 16 people that want to talk today, guys. It's been fantastic. I'm still hearing background, so don't do anything, anybody. I want to see where this is coming from. Oh, somebody did something. Okay, because it's gone. Wherever that was coming from, whatever just muted. That's Jen. Okay. All right. Thanks, dear. So this is very important, guys. Mainly because of losing Mira today. And I was at Cape Canaveral at 6:45 this morning when I read the news. That might not be true. It might have been 5:30 this morning. I may have read the news after I woke up. But that's when I heard the news of Mira's passing. And this is doubly as important. Hey, Joe, by the way, I think your girlfriend is trying to, hold on, it's coming up. I think she wants something because she's, first, Joe, she says this. Okay, hold on. Lies. So I don't know who to believe. And then she backs it up with, yeah, Joe. So
she's
you
in the bedroom. She's in the bedroom right now. So
okay. Well, she's bashing you, Joe. Just letting you know you're in the same household.
I hope you got a safe word, Joe.
Hear that, Joe? Joe, we hope you got a safe word, buddy. You got all these friends here. We'll buy a plane ticket, man. We're coming to bail you out because you shouldn't have to suffer that abuse. See, she muted you and you don't even know it. She muted you and you don't even know it.
My safe word is Dragon Con.
Oh,
if I'm screaming Dragon Con.
All right. Getting back to my question, guys. And this is very important. Like I said, the loss of Mira, the loss of people that we have met or worked with. Lee, you have driven around in the past. I need, and this is going to go to Jerome first. This gives you guys time to think long and hard about it. I really need a very interesting and very brief celebrity story. I want whatever experience, whether it's funny, whether it's embarrassing, whether it's X-rated. And let me explain the X-rated portion. Lee, I refuse to show the video that you sent me. Okay. And so let me go ahead and preface this. I ain't showing that, buddy. No. All right. So Lee is up on stage with John Barrowman. Do I have to say anything more? Hold on. It gets better. Lee is wearing a kilt. Do I have to say anything more? Okay. I'll keep going. Lee decides to spin on stage with the kilt on. And Barrowman lost his mind.
Oh no!
Obviously, he must.
Lee, you are my hero.
He must have asked, what do they wear under kilts? And unfortunately, Lee obliged the absolute wrong person. So I'm not showing that clip. You're gonna have to send it around to your friends.
Oh, I'm sure it's on Pornhub if you look hard.
Dude, it might be 12-year-olds up watching this show as we speak. No way. I'm not going to be that irresponsible. So, Jerome, it starts with you. Go.
Well, the best story I have is when I was one of the handlers for James Hong. Okay, James Hong was in his 70s when we came out to Boston. He was just about to start doing the voice work for Kung Fu Panda 2. He was at a convention. We picked him up at the airport. We talked with him. And that Saturday night, he decided that in downtown Boston, we were all going down to Chinatown, at which point he drank many a member of the committee under the table. And at 2 a.m., while the rest of us were passing out and exhausted, the man kept wanting to go and boogie at the local nightclub. I don't know where he got the energy, but that man just kept on partying.
That is incredible. And if you guys don't remember who the classic actor James Hong is, probably what's that in Little China? Big Trouble?
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China. He played the head. Yeah, he played the head.
I personally watched him down not one but 2 scorpion bulls.
Wow. And still stood up? He still walked
stood
away.
up, man. The man, he walked a straight line, had 2 ladies on either arm, and was going to the nightclub and to boogie. Okay? Trust me on this. I don't know where he got that.
This is what I want to hear. This is the stories I'm talking about. All you guys that are on the screen right now have had numerous experiences with celebrities at con. Not only do we miss the people, but we also miss the actors that we had the privilege to be up close and personal with, and kind of a lot of fans don't realize that we find out when the actor's on stage, they know they're on stage, but once they get off that stage, and typically like the Balkans or like the Shore Leaves or like the Far Points, and they head for the bar, this is where you see unprintable stuff. Okay, this is where you see the true celebrity in their rawest form, and this is what we didn't have a chance to see in all of 2020. Hansi, it goes to you.
She's muted.
Oh, you muted yourself. Do it again, Hansi. Unmute. Well, I'll do it for you.
Are you
okay? Go ahead, dear.
Are you looking for the most embarrassing story at a con, or what are you looking for exactly?
Well, that's a good one. You start. You said it. Embarrassing. Go for it.
Well, so I had done photo ops with Michael Rooker many times. So I had thought like he kind of knew me and was drunk and basically like lumped him. And
wait, whoa. Say that again, because you laughed through it. Say that again.
I glomped him.
That's a word I haven't heard before.
It's a fangirl term. It means basically like throwing yourself on the person.
So you threw yourself at him. And what happened? And what happened next? What happened next?
Well, the assistant was taking photographs, so the whole thing is documented like in slow-mo, and like his face at first in total shock, and then him trying to recover, and then him being really nice about it. But yeah,
man, you girls. No, I advise it, but make sure it's me on the other side. Okay, John, it goes to you, buddy boy.
All right, this is from Dragon Con. When I was the director of guest services, and I used to run the transportation department, Chase Masterson was she got in early one morning. And even though we worked with the hotel to say, have her room ready, they did not have her room ready. So I'm still in bed. I'm sleeping. It had been late night, whatever. And Brenda comes over, my wife, and she goes, don't get up to use the restroom. I'm like, why? Did something happen? She goes, Chase Masterson is taking a shower. At that moment, I had one of those Sheldon Cooper moments. I'm like, I have a double girl in my shower? Oh. And, so to me, that was probably one of the highlights, of that, to be able to tell the people, oh, yeah, I woke up one day and there was a double girl in my shower.
Wait, whoa. That's it? Are you out of your mind?
Remember, Brenda was in the same room, so
I don't care if
I don't care either, man.
Mother Teresa was in the other room. Okay, you will hear the biggest oops coming out of me if I was in that position. I'm sorry, but I have to reach for the toilet paper. Something.
I have to agree with Mark on this one, boy. I don't know.
You had a Dabo girl in your shower, and that's the end of the story.
Well, for that one, I could tell you about the time I took Dave Prowse to a leather bar.
No, let's stick to this Dabo girl. Do you know how much money Playboy would have paid you?
There would have been a death mark on my head, I'm sure, at that point.
You can take a Dabo girl. Come on, it's Chase. The worst she would have done to you is sing. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
No.
But that's terrible.
When she got upset because they also lost her luggage. We had to take her down to Macy's when Macy's was still in downtown Atlanta. The person who took her to Macy's came to me and goes, "John, I've heard sailors that are not as bad as she was in regards to her." And she was upset, visibly upset. Her luggage was gone. All her photos were in the luggage, so I can understand. But this crew member of mine came back and goes, "I grew up in the Navy. I had never heard such language, about how she was just upset." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, put in your situation. No, your hotel room isn't ready. The flight was delayed. Your luggage, who knows? I think it ended up like later on that evening before it even showed up. So she was visibly upset. But again, it's still, if we all ever had to write a book, some of the stories we could put into it, we definitely have to.
Yeah. If I at one point wanted to write a book, everyone I wrote about have to be dead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have.
They have to be dead.
I have
all
other
right,
stories
Lee.
as well. So.
All right, Lee, you're next up. So go ahead and tell us. You've had a lot of experience with driving celebrities around and being around them and showing your bare ass to John Barrowman. So why don't you tell us the next embarrassing story?
Okay. As you said, I've driven around quite a few celebrities. I think one of the things that I like the most about it is occasionally being privy to some of their private conversations. And obviously, I'm not sharing any of that information, but being able to overhear that. But as far as I've got to share two stories. The first one was my very first Dragon Con in 2012 had part of the cast of Firefly there. Had Jewel State, Sean Mayer, and Adam Baldwin. And apparently Jewel had some issues with her luggage. And it just so happened that when they opened it up for questions, I was second in line. And in my backpack, I happened to have a bottle of Firefly bourbon. And as soon as I pulled it out of my bag and held it up, Adam Baldwin is waving for me. Bring it to me, bring it to me, bring it to me. And Sean Mayer actually took a picture of Jewel holding the bottle of Firefly bourbon and posted it to Twitter. So that one's out there. The second thing actually goes back to Michael Rooker. I had the fortune to drive Michael, and the process with guest transportation is that once you have your guests on board and you're heading to the next destination, you radio. And it's typically Van 11 departing Weston with package for Baker Street. And 3 rows behind me, Michael Rooker shouts out at the top of his lungs, "And what a package it is."
That sounds like Rook. You guys are being very, very polite in this storytelling situation. Other than John there, who's now planted this image of a naked Dobble girl in the shower, and but we're gonna go ahead and move around the horn here. I think Brad's back on. I don't know if we can get. I'm gonna have to. Oh, hey! I saw Jennifer there on the couch. You guys still together, huh? Damn, Joe, you're a sucker. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and. I'm gonna. Yeah, right.
You're a sucker.
Hey, man. He-Man Woman Haters Club. You're a charter member. Remember that, okay?
Yes, he is.
All right, let's go ahead and talk to my boy Dennis here, mad scientist, and I'm sure he may have a story or two that he can share. I don't know where Tara is, but it'd be great to see her lovely face as well next to you. If she's
in
around,
the feed.
She's in the feed. Okay, yes, I know. We saw some comments from us, but go ahead and tell us an embarrassing, interesting, funny situation you may have come across at a convention with a celebrity.
Okay, well, since we mentioned the wife, I'm going to kind of tell on her a little bit. We went to Wizard World in New Orleans a couple years ago and managed to score an Avengers photo shoot. So we had Captain America, we had Hawkeye, and we had Falcon. All three of them. We got to take pictures with all three of these guys. Huge deal. And we're getting posed together for the shot. And me and Renner, we get kicked off to the side, as you do with Hawkeye. I'm just kind of like, oh, so Mr. Renner, you enjoying the convention? And meanwhile, Tara is wedging herself in between Anthony Mackie and Chris Evans. Okay,
Wow.
so I'm not a jealous guy,
Yes, you
I
are.
know my pecking order, but she's right in between Falcon and Captain America. And
Okay.
she even tells Mackie on your left, so she can kind of get in between the two. And if you look at the
Okay.
photo, the hands are a little bit down low. You can't really see what's going on there. And
Oh, yes, you can. You can figure it out.
I can't prove that she touched America's ass, but I'm pretty sure she touched America's ass.
That's America's ass. Oh my God.
That needs to
Good.
be a
I
button
love that
that you
girl.
need to give to her that says, I touched
But
America's
I
ass.
agree. You got to get a button for that.
And she was just
That
beaming,
should be a
beaming the rest of the
sticker on a
weekend.
t-shirt. No, you know what? I got a great idea. If
She's a
she
big
touched,
t-shirt.
if she got a t-shirt, Dennis, okay, Tara, hopefully you're picking this up. If she got a t-shirt and across
Oh, I'm so
here,
screwed later for telling on her, but oh well.
hold on, I'm not done. Hold on. And she put across the top here, I touched America's ass. Now watch my fingers. Watch my fingers. And then right here, she draws a butt. Okay. Right there. That I could deal with that. Okay. But that's fantastic. She touched America's ass. Oh my God.
Yep.
Guys, welcome Gary Palmager up here at the top. He is the host of HWWS. He was the one who was getting bashed by his, I'm going to call them roommates, about taking the mic away from him. As you can see, he has no mic in his hand. So I think we're safe for a while. Oh, wait a minute. This is for you, Dennis. Got a message coming in, Dennis. Okay. The way I see it is that little ass Brad on The Simpsons when she's saying, ha ha, so this is what I say. So, Garrett, welcome to the broadcast. We'll get to you in a sec. We're going to go to Joe. And whoops, I can't get Tara's comment off the screen now. Wait a minute.
It was
Joe,
off.
we're going to go to you. Oh,
There, it's
all
off
right, there's
now.
a-
It's gone now.
Oh, good. Okay. Joe, you've been around them too, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to have people up here on the screen who can tell these stories because I'm sure there's more of them. We just don't have time. But
Yeah,
Joe, it's
so-
your turn, buddy. What you got?
So can I do two quick ones?
Yes, you can.
Okay. My first one is kind of like one of those, like you realize that celebrities are just people too. And this is probably
Yes.
my earliest like interaction with a big celebrity. So this was 92, and I went to Dragon Con just specifically to meet Todd McFarlane, right?
Ooh, yeah.
I'm a,
Hey,
I'm a
ass
huge
grabber. Okay, done.
There she is, the ass grabber. You touched me.
Ass grabber. Ass grabber. How dare she? Go ahead, Joe.
So my main motivation of going to Dragon Con 92 was to meet Todd McFarlane. I was a huge fan of his work, loved him on Spider-Man, loved him on Spawn. By this point, Spawn 3 had come out. And I was originally
cool.
supposed to go there with one of my closest friends, but he had gotten into a car accident just shortly before Dragon Con, so he couldn't go. So I brought with me several issues of Spawn 1, 2, and 3 to get signed. And then I also brought, because I'm an artist, I brought some of my own personal artwork. So he does his little, kind of panel, and panels were very different in 92. We're talking about, the places where they do the small fan tracks now, that's where the panels were. There was 50 people max in that room listening to Todd McFarlane talk. So he goes through and talks about Spawn, his artistic process and everything, signs everybody's work and everything. And then he has a few minutes afterwards and he kind of like looks over my artwork. And Todd McFarlane looks at my artwork. I'm 17 years old at this point. So very tune into him, to what he has to say. And he looks at my work and he's like, "You can draw, okay, but you got no style, kid." And I was like, "What?"
Ooh.
Really rough. But here's the cool thing. It blitzed me out of my mind. So I didn't think about getting something signed for my friend Larry, who had gotten into the car accident. So I'm walking down the aisle afterwards, and this dude walks up to me, and he looks at me, and he's got an official Dragon Con badge on, and he's like, "You okay, guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm all right." He's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, and he was tuned in, and I was like, "Man," I said, "I just went to a panel with Todd McFarlane, and I showed him my artwork, and I told him what happened, and then I was like, but it kind of got me out of my mind, and I forgot to get my friend's thing signed." He was like, and I told him, my friend was in a car accident, and he was like, "Well, do you think he'd appreciate something from the real Spawn?" And I was like, I looked down at his badge, and his badge said Al Simmons. Now, a lot of people might not know this, but the name Al Simmons that Todd McFarlane used was from his like best friend from childhood, and that's the actual name Al Simmons that became Spawn. So Al Simmons then signed a T-shirt that I had and said, "To Larry from the real Spawn, Al Simmons," which was cool as hell. Yeah.
Oh, you had another one. You said two.
Yeah. And well, the second one was super quick, and that was I met Lisa Henson, Brian Henson's daughter, after doing the Dark Crystal panel. A buddy of mine is a volunteer for Dragon Con, and he's a handler now because he's been doing it for a decade. And so I'm sitting outside the Marriott, after the panel was done, an hour afterwards. And I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He was like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just, kind of taking care of Lisa." And I was like, "Huh?" And he nudges over to his left, and I see Lisa Henson there. He's like, "You want to meet her?" I was like, "Yeah. I mean, I'm a Jim Henson fan from back in the day. Love Farscape, love Muppet Show, everything." And so that was another really cool interaction. She was very gracious. She did not tell me, you need more work or anything. So.
Wow. Awesome. I love him. I love him. I love him. Let's go ahead and go up to Garrett and talk to Garrett. Garrett is an incredible interviewer. He has his own, I hate to call them podcasts. I don't like that term podcast, but we do webcast shows where you can see us, not just hear us. And he is the, how can I call this? The sister company, the mother company of my Saturday morning cartoons show and some of the other stuff that I handle. So Garrett, you got a story to share with us?
I probably have a ton that I won't share or can't share or shouldn't share. But actually, I think back. I actually think to some of my early
Oh, did you mute? Hold on, Garrett.
Am I there? Am I back?
I got you there. I hit the wrong
You're
button.
back.
That's my bad. Go ahead.
All right, I'm back. Okay, so as I started out with, there's probably a ton that I shouldn't or couldn't or wouldn't share. But really, I think back to early interactions, and as Mark knows, and several of you here, when I'm at a convention, I pride myself on the fact that I am a super fan, but I try not to be too much of a fan, particularly on set. I try to be as professional as I can. So it's very, very seldom that I get starstruck. But early on, in fact, it's very apropos because Mark started this segment by saying, in light of Mira, and I'm a huge Babylon 5 fan, a huge fan of Mira's work, and she will be very, very missed. But it's actually a Babylon 5 story. I was at an early convention where we were doing the show. I had been interviewing people all morning long. Nobody starstruck me. It was great. It was wonderful to see everybody. But there was a celebrity there that I said to the girls, later on when we get time, when there's time after all the floor is cleared and everything, I'd love to just sit and chat with Claudia Christian. Who I had been a big fan of since I was like a teenager. I'd seen her on everything from Murder, She Wrote to, guest spots that she did in other places. And then when she was doing Babylon 5, I was in my early 20s and I was absolutely smitten. And And so I said, but I'd love to sit down with her afterwards. And of course, with a little time to prepare myself and be professional. And Cosplay Michael, who most of you are familiar with, that travels with us everywhere, has we call it a con watcher, because if you say babysitter to Cosplay Michael, he'll smack you really hard. So we call him a con watcher. And so his con watcher was a dear friend of ours, and she came running up to me with a panicked look on her face. She said, "Dad, the moms want you right now." And I was like, okay, like right now, you have to go right now. So I handed off Michael and I ran over to the girl, sweating. And it's, you know, as all of you know, there's 80,000 people on the convention floor. And so you're bumping into people, and I get over there and I'm like, guys, what do you want that was so urgent? It was like urgent that you do this. We have an interview for you to do right now. And I'm like, really? Like you chased me across the parking lot for an interview? Oh, okay, whatever. Give me a mic, get the camera going. All right, ready? And who am I interviewing? And I look over and it's Claudia, and the girls are laughing their asses off while I sit there and try to find the word. You guys have heard the intro, especially those who are part of the HWWS Web TV family here. You've heard the intro to my show 1,000 times. I've got it memorized so that it comes out so fast I sound like a Jersey car salesman. And I can't remember it. I'm literally just staring at Claudia.
Keep going.
I don't know my lines. I don't know what questions to ask. I know everything. I'm a huge fanboy. Anyway, I know everything I can possibly know about this woman without actually stalking her. And yet I have no idea what to ask her, because I had no expectation that that's what I was going to do. And so I just stood there. The interview itself comes out to be about 5.5 minutes, because by the time I actually was able to speak, you
fanboyed out.
I did. I completely, and I pride myself on like never doing that. But that one, they surprised me, and it just took me back, and I literally stood there, and that's all I could say. And it was so it was a very short interview, but it was a very fun experience, because it doesn't happen very often. I don't get starstruck or fanboyed, but I do when it's just complete and utter surprise. And all the girls would do is just sit there and laugh incessantly. And with Claudia, like she was laughing her ass off too. She's like, "What is going on here? I thought there was an interview." And the girls are just laughing. They all planned it.
All right, Rose. Yeah, cool. That's a great story. Rose, it goes to you. We got a few minutes to do. So go ahead. Tell me what your fan experience is, Rose. Anything you got embarrassing or interesting? Rose, you there?
You muted her.
She's muted.
She is muted.
Okay, I have two quick stories for you. Okay.
Right,
the first one is we were on the way to a convention in Tampa, and we were running late, and I was when traffic's bad, and I have the kids in the car, and we had to park all the way on the top level of this roof to the hotel, and we ended up, instead of taking of course everybody's like trying to get on the elevator, so my husband's like, well, we'll just go down the stairs. So here, we're like going all the way down like 5 or 6 flights of stairs, and it's hot, and we're all, but we're like out of breath, and we're like panicking, because we're just like, we're just trying to get to the convention, and we wanted to get to our hotel room first, and we see like the elevator doors being held open for us to get to the room, and we're all running inside, and I'm like, oh, thank you, and I look over, and it's Sally Kellerman was holding the elevator for us. Yes. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, Kellerman, So it just shows you that people are just, so sweet. She was just such a wonderful lady. And the other story is my one super fangirl story, because I usually am very cool. I don't like cry or freak out. But I was at MegaCon, and when I finally got up to meet David Prowse for the first time, I broke into tears, because Star Wars was my childhood. It was, my life, and a lot of it's part because of him. I love Darth Vader, and I started crying, and it was unexpected. I just burst into tears, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I make a lot of people cry." and he was just so kind, and we had this great conversation about how much he meant to me and everything, and it was just like this really magical experience with him. Sometimes you just go through and you just get your stuff and go, but he took time with me, and he was like really special. And I really, when he passed this year, I really did feel a loss because he was just great.
Yeah, that's fantabulous, folks. Before we move on, we as every program goes, we have to take just a short break just to show you guys something, just kind of not people get too deaf in the ears, I guess, from all the stories. We have a lot to tell. We have a lot to say. The stories have been fabulous. These guys have been fabulous. There's still people that are still trying to get on that I invited on, but you guys are still occupying the space. I see Brad is somewhere. You know what? Let me see. Let's check this out, guys, for a minute. Help me with Brad. Okay. Brad, can you understand the words that are coming from my mouth?
I hope he says yes, because that was painful to watch.
Brad? Okay. Are you in Kentucky? Okay.
And now the Saturday Night Live sketch for those who remember the weekend.
Can you hear me,
update.
Mark?
Those who are hard to hearing. Brad.
Yeah, I can hear you, Brad, but you sent that message 2 weeks ago. Oh, this is too funny. This is too funny. Brad,
Sorry,
are you
I
on
got
your
bad
cell
internet.
You think? I'm so sorry, buddy, but we might have to do this in the chat room because I can't communicate you well online. Are you on Verizon or T-Mobile?
The answer to that was a guy named Phil has a pickup truck out front with a antenna.
And a lot of tin
God,
foil.
And a lot of tin
that is
foil.
hilarious. Guys, watch this for a minute.
Well, I'm with you in photo off back here, which you're missing, and I heard you were auctioning what was my personal favorite. And it also was special to me because it included my son, playing my son in the show. So I just thought if I came out and maybe added my something to it.
Folks, Patrick Stewart's DNA is now on a copy of the script. If you have any mad scientists at home, I suggest you start off with an opening bid of $100. Anybody? Whoa, hold on. Here we go. This is how I do it. You just signed it. Keep your hands up. When you're out of the bidding, if you hear a number you don't like, put your hands down. So the whole room, put your hand up. All right. Everyone at $100. Where are you? 100. Keep your hands up. 100. 110. 120. 130. 140. 150. 1,000.
Mark is muted. That's what I love.
So, Mark, do you remember how much that eventually went for?
Interesting. That was Away Mission, which is can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Away Mission. Stop talking, Jerome. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. I wasn't sure. Intermittent internet here. But anyway, Away Mission was a small, very, very personal convention, much like the former Volcons. And the good thing about that is that you can get more up close and personal with the celebrities that are there at the convention because of the very few people that are actually there. Unfortunately, when you have a small crowd, sometimes small crowds don't have a lot of money to spend. So the money that we were asking for that autographed script from Patrick wasn't doing too well. Patrick behind me decides to stick his head out through the curtains and said, "Can I be of some assistance?" Then he comes out on stage and he literally pushes that himself. And I think maybe $300-400, I think that finally went for, which if it was at Dragon Con, John, you know, you and I can do a lot better with something like that.
I'm just curious because you're right. You know, to have the celebrity actually being up there and things like that. And I thought I heard somebody yell $1,000 or
yeah, that was Mark.
It could have been. It was. Yeah, it could have been. It was so long ago, I don't remember. All righty. So I just wanted to show that clip for you guys because the differences between conventions that have 80,000 people there and conventions that may only have 1,500 is immense because the guests themselves aren't being hustled away by the handlers. They aren't hiding out in their rooms until they have to come back out to their table the next day. They literally want to hang out with the guests, with the fans.
I have a question for you, Mark.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So obviously Dragon Con is the big dragon in the room. What's the smallest con you've been to? Because I probably have got you beat.
I think the smallest con I've been to is probably one that had 300 people, I think.
Then I definitely have
at Castlegate.
No, it wasn't Castlegate. I can't remember. It wasn't Atlanta, John. No. I can't remember what con that was, but it was very, very personable. Very personable.
I got even smaller.
You know, so you can be, yeah, so you can be exposed to conventions with, like I said, 8,000 people, and like Joe, who was standing in a line for hours to see a Stan Lee or things of that nature. Or you can, in fact, be at, you know, a very small convention where after the guest is off the stage, he heads right for the bar. He's at, those are conventions that had dinners, that had, help me on this, Paul. They had small conventions like that usually have extra entertainment, shall I say, or extra activities. You can buy a dinner ticket. You can buy a meet the writers ticket.
Yeah,
you know, things of that nature.
Yeah, Farpoint does that. There will be the banquet that comes after that comes before the opening ceremonies. There will be meet and greets. One year at Farpoint, one of the charity auction items was lunch with Felicia Day, and the winning bid was $5,000
for Felicia
lunch.
Day.
Yeah, $5,000 to have like coffee with Felicia Day.
That's cool.
I guess if you got it,
yeah,
spend it.
Watching that was mind-boggling. When it got into the four figures, Felicia was like, "It's just lunch." And it just kept going and going and going. Oh my God. You know,
Hey, just out of curiosity, Paul, do you remember what the charity was?
It was probably the God, I'm blanking on the kid. There was a young man, a disabled man who was a regular at Farpoint for years, and eventually he died, and his family set up a foundation for him in his memory.
Right. Okay. All right.
That is always one of the charities at Farpoint, but sometimes we'll have other ones like, you know, there will be other ones. The
okay, don't try too hard. That's good enough. I'm going to go to my next.
Julian Fleming, the Julian Fleming Foundation.
Oh yeah, I know Julian Fleming. Yes. Okay. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Excellent. So we need to go to somebody else. Who's left other than Jennifer? Who did not tell their story yet? Everybody got one in? Okay, fine. Jennifer, it's on you, dear. And you muted yourself, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just unmuted me, so. Well, mine is an embarrassing one, and I'm gonna seem like I'm piggybacking on someone else because it actually involves Bab 5 and it involves Mira Furlan, and it's the only panel I ever saw with Mira Furlan. And you know how couples have inside jokes, and they keep those inside jokes, and they tend not to express these inside jokes to the entire world because they can tend to be embarrassing. Well, that's most couples. So we're at this panel, and at one point in time, for some reason, I still don't know why, I thought that there was a specific thing about Babylon 5, and it wasn't. So we kept as an inside joke in our family. And so my husband at the panel, unbeknownst to me, has gotten up to ask this question. And he asks them point blank, so how many seasons were there in Babylon 5? Because my wife thinks there's 6. So now the entire Babylon 5 panel is laughing at me because apparently I can't count to 5. And it was probably one, and I'm not an easy person to embarrass because socially awkward people generally tend not to be easily embarrassed because we just don't know we're supposed to be embarrassed. But no, that embarrassed me. So the entire Babylon 5 panel thinks I can't count to 5, or thinks that 6 comes after 4 or something. I don't know. But that was it was fun, and it's fun to remember. It was embarrassing at the time, but it was fun. It was fun to remember.
All righty. I just sent a very polite message to Brad saying, we tried, buddy, but we're not connecting to you very well. I know you can hear me, Brad, but we're just not getting a good connection with you. So I prefer not to attempt it for the 3rd or 4th time. So good try, and I think it's your connection because I can see how slowly you're even moving down in the lobby. We just can't get to you, buddy. It's just not working. I'm sorry, man. Oh, wait a minute. He's holding up something. Let me see if I can. Hold on. It might be a call for help. Hold on. What does that say? Let me put you on full. Hold that up, Brad. Hold. No, be still. Sorry, Mark. Oh, dude, no, don't. We'll do it another time, buddy. We appreciate it a lot, but you can still share any stories you may have in the chat room, and we'll just read them off for you, man. That's what we'll do.
Sorry, Mark. Sorry about that.
Wait a minute. Keep talking.
I'm sorry my internet sucks.
Wait a minute. All of a sudden it's working. Woo!
Yeah. Hold on. Don't. Nobody move. Nobody move. Brad, keep talking. Tell us a con story quickly.
I made Nichelle Nichols blush.
Don't stop, Brad. Don't stop.
One of the handlers said, just go tell Nichelle she looks beautiful. She'll be your best friend. So I said, no, I'm not saying that to Nichelle. So I said, okay. I said, Nichelle, it's nice to meet you. This is my very first convention, and I just want to say you look beautiful today. And she looked up at me and kind of shook her finger at me. And meantime, the guy is in the background laughing, going, yeah, you did it. It was very embarrassing. And it made me blush. And the next day when I got my picture taken with her.
I don't want to stop him. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Jern.
Now I can't hear you.
Well, that's
my convention story. I've only been to one, and so I'm new at this. So right when I started going a couple years ago, then the pandemic strikes. So now I'm going to none, and it really stinks. But I look forward to going back to Shore Leave in Baltimore because it was absolutely awesome. And it's a good one for low attendance, not long lines. And if you're into the Star Trek books like I am, the authors are 90% of them are there. And I absolutely loved it. And I really missed it this year. I was going to go to Farpoint, but that is canceled. They have, the podcast, but the Farpoint's canceled, and I'm crossing my fingers that Shore Leave is on for July of this year. So, because that was my first one. I put this off for years, and I'm so glad I started going. But as I said, right when I started going, they pandemic. So,
awesome.
And I don't know if anyone's ever met John Glover. Does anyone know who John Glover is?
Yes.
Smallville.
Yes, Smallville. Yes.
I had a strange encounter with him, but I think I'll save that for another time. That man is out there.
Okay. You got your message through, buddy boy. I'm so happy and proud that somebody chopped down a mountain for you. So it's amazing what aluminum foil can do on antennas and things like that. So good job. Yes, that's John Glover, Paul. Yep. Good job. Yeah. Okay, Brad, I'm going to go ahead and drop you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate your input. Wow. I think he was on Jupiter. I think. All right, real quick. Let me see. Do I have everybody up? That's good. Who do we lose? Where did Joe go? Oh, there's Joe. Hold on, Joe. Bringing you up, Joe. Yeah, that was great. We heard from Brad. I'm so freaking excited. All right, my turn. Let me tell my story. I'll tell one of hundreds, but I'll tell this one. So it was, of course, at a Dragon Con. And I told the story before. Some of you guys have heard it, but please forgive me. Oh, where'd Joe go? Hold on, Joe. Joe, are you knocking yourself off?
No, you did
it. Yeah, okay, I did it. All right. All right. So anyway, Dragon Con, it was evening time, and I go to the bar there, John and Joe. It's not the sports bar, but it's the restaurant next door. I forget the name of it, but anyway.
That'd be Sear.
Thank you very much. So here I am at the bar and sitting in the corner, or no, I was at the bar first, and who comes in is the cast of Battlestar Galactica. Okay, so it was Eddie that was there and the whole 9 yards. So they were drinking. They were there for a while. I hate overstaying my welcome with anyone I'm around, anybody. So I removed myself and went back to the bar, but occasionally I go back over and speak to them for a little bit. Long story short, they were looking for Chief, and that was forget his name. Anybody? Help? Anybody? Nobody. Oh, okay, good. Then I'll just
Adama, Edward James.
No, Chief, not Adama. No. Not Commander, Chief. Not the Chief. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway,
yes.
So he hadn't shown up. So they were 5 sheets to the wind. They were drunk as all get out, and I'm talking about practically all of them. And their plan was to go and find. I can't see that, Jennifer. His plan was to go and no, that's the character's name. I can't see the actor's name. Anyway, so the plan was to go and find his room. So I had the key numbers to get on the freight elevators because you're usually standing 5 days in front of a Dragon Con elevator to get to any room. Okay, Aaron Douglas, thank you. So we got on the elevator. We stopped at every floor. This was everyone packed into a freight elevator. We ran down the hallway, everyone. We knocked on every door, everyone. We ran back to the freight elevator and continued that for the next few floors above that. Okay. The next day, I was to host the, thank you for writing it, Tara. Next day, I was to host the panel for Battlestar Galactica. Aaron Douglas was a no-show. So we're sitting up there holding the panel. Finally, in the middle of the panel, Aaron Douglas walks into the room, holds his phone up in the air, and said, "I got a cell phone, MFers." You know, which basically meant you should have called me. So that's my one story. So, all right, good enough for government work. Okay, so we're missing 2 people who I wanted to pop in this evening, and I sent them messages, but I don't send them, and it probably because they can't get into the lobby, I'm assuming, but that's too bad. Not a big deal. They would have messaged me if they were trying to get in, and I would have dropped you guys. Oh, hey, sorry, helping my mom with a computer issue. Okay, that's the one that I wanted to come on tonight. But anyway, so we're going to get close to ending this. and I kind of want to get some, if possible, all of your answers have been incredible. All of your answers have been very on point. I think you guys pretty much encompassed the world with all of your positions, with all of your experience. I think all of you have pretty much encompassed what we've all missed at the cons, from the art shows, which Dragon Con and Shore Leave and Farpoint both have incredible art shows, very professionally run, very high class, to the celebrities on stage and things that they say, right down to sitting in a hallway on a hotel floor with all the alcohol people can pull out of their rooms and sitting them on the carpet in the hallway, getting so drunk that they think they know where their room was after the fact, or just going into a room party and some stranger has now gotten under the sheets of your bed and knocked out. We have experienced a lot of R-rated, super R-rated, and sometimes X-rated experiences at conventions from both celebrities and fans. There's not that much duct tape in the world to cross out nipples, okay, on supposedly professional costumers. I want to do that one day. Just walk down with just a duct tape costume, okay, everywhere. All right. We have seen everything from tragedies at Comic-Cons, at conventions. There have been celebrities that have actually died at conventions, which is horrible to hear. There have actually been celebrities who did not show up at conventions, which is horrible to hear. There's actually celebrities who have not gotten paid at conventions, which is horrible to hear. We know convention runners, occupiers, owners. We know the big box conventions. We know the mom and pop conventions. We know people who started out as fans and ended up as organizers. There has been so many convention stories that you find yourself needing to explain this to your coworkers on who these strange people are and why are you dressed like a freaking traffic cone, you know? So there's, what did he say, Jennifer? Was that Brian in the background?
No, actually, I was laughing at what you were saying. Brian's in the
I'm
kitchen.
sorry.
He's doing dishes.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. But there's just so many different occurrences at conventions. And I wanted to do this show basically to give us, I know there's a lot of virtual cons out there now. Some I like, some I absolutely hate. And I know this is a filler and a moneymaker for a lot of those pro cons out there that feel they need to get some sort of income in this year. A one-on-one chat with your favorite actor. By the way, send us some money and we'll send you an autograph. I don't find that as being in the best interest of what it is we grew up with and what we saw. So I'm going to go around the horn, and I want you guys to pretty much, I know what you told me what you miss, but as heartfelt as I guess I tried to explain to you guys on what, you know, some of the funny parts too, on what I missed at cons, tell me deep down, get into your gut, and I want you to be fair and honest and tell me or tell us, tell our audience exactly what is it that has destroyed you in 2020 with the loss of conventions. Okay, I know what you missed, but give me something. Give me something different. Jerome, you're always our leader, so go ahead and start this off.
I'm going to have to go back to the people because I'm an extrovert. I feed off of the energy of the crowd. You know, the bigger the crowd, the more hyped up and more energized I feel. I come back from New York Comic Con. Kara will tell you, I was bouncing off the walls with energy. I miss the vibe, the way that people move, the way that people talk, and conversations go from one to another. And you could step into a conversation, walk out, come back, and there's just an energy among all the people at these conventions, from the smallest convention, which, by the way, my smallest was 38 people, to the largest, like New York Comic Con. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you that story later, Mark. Okay, but
yeah, you have to.
The energy of what you get from all those people, and I've been an MC like you, Mark. You know, there's an energy that comes at you, but when you're in the middle of that crowd and that crowd is shifting and moving and twisting, you just feel a vibe, and that's the biggest thing I've missed, because it has made me so depressed not to have that around me.
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to add on top of each one of you guys' comments, because you're bringing some incredible stuff to the table right now. And you're absolutely right. With me being on stage, I do feed off the audience. My intention is to make sure they're having a good time. I also am very, very aware that they're not here to see me. Okay, so I try to entertain them as much as I possibly can and get the hell off the stage.
Yeah.
Okay, but the fact that what I just received from them, you know, it's like I'm the villain. One of Superman's villain was Parasite, and it's like, oh my God, man, I was dead to the world when I got up on stage. Okay, but now I'm so energized, I want to get back up there and dance a jig or something, you know. So Jerome, absolutely right. John, what do you got for us, buddy? Tell us some truth here.
All right. Well, I think, and it goes back to Dragon Con. That's the big thing, you know, for me every year. It's not only missing the people, but it's missing the people, like the guests that weren't guests at the con. I have in Atlanta, I know a lot of the movers and shakers within the city, and I can come in to the con, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, was that Julian Bond? Was that you know, John Lewis? You know, things like that. And I'm like, so you miss not necessarily the guest, but the quote unquote non-guest, the person who's well known in the city, who is attending the same convention that you are, and that you never would have thought, especially a politician, would have, you know, liked the very same things that you do, that were there to see maybe the same guests that you did. So I miss part of that as well. Again, I spend a lot of my time now in the dealer's hall, so it's always nice to be able to see what some of the dealers have, and sometimes they have stuff that hasn't been made available yet, and so you get that advanced vision of that item, or can even purchase it before it's been made available to the public because someone has a connection. So there's just a lot of interwoven things that I really miss. You know, it's kind of hard to just pick one thing, but for me, that's what it is. It's just the non-guest.
Well, let me touch on your point on guest. There's been many occasions, and sometimes I've written contracts for guests to appear at conventions, especially the shows that I was doing in Germany for like 20 years. And a lot of times I get literally from them, well, what do they do with these things? What am I supposed to say? How many people are you expecting there? And to try to explain to first timers who's coming to a con what to expect, it's something you really can't tell them in words or description. They have to see it for themselves. I've seen 5-minute standing ovations from people standing up on stage. When Patrick Stewart gets out there, he knows how to work the stage. He goes to every corner. He goes to every freaking corner of the stage, so people can not only get their photo op, but to basically to recognize that side of the room and not neglect anybody. I've seen incredible entertainers that need no introduction. You could just say very quietly, ladies and gentlemen, John Barrowman, and get out of the way quick. Get out of the way. Exactly. Run for your life or he will run your ass over. Okay. So it's very, very interesting on how people or the celebrities, because I'm touching on what John's statement, on how the celebrities have no idea what we've been doing for the last 35, 30 years, 40 years, and how it's a no-brainer for us. But to see them come to a con for the first time, when you see a convention advertised and their first convention appearance, it's like it's blood in the water to these fans. And it's like, we got them.
Especially
got
Mark,
'em, you know?
I
I'm
remember
sorry?
with Dragon Con, I went down to a small con in Jacksonville and met Jewel Straight and invited her to Dragon Con. And before I left, she had accepted. And then when I picked her up at the airport, she's like, "Well, how many people do you expect?" And at that time, I think we were probably doing like 40,000. And she's like, 40,000 people? And, I go, yeah. I said, I said, oh, you'll probably be one of the big rooms because I also work in programming. I said, oh, yeah, we already have a room set aside for you with like 5,000 seats. And in Jacksonville, the seating was 100 that she had in the room. So you're right. A lot of them, when they come, especially to a large con, that is not a San Diego Comic Con, because we know in Dragon Con, they can roam around and this and that. They are blown away. And don't know how to react.
Fortunately, now though, you can just send them Galaxy Quest and they're good to go.
That is the best piece of marketing material ever done in the entire history of conventions.
It's a great Star Trek film.
It is unbelievable.
It's
fantastic. Okay, Paul, give us something heartfelt.
Something heartfelt. Well, obviously I miss the people. I really enjoy doing stuff on stage. And I haven't had the opportunity to do that now for almost 2 years. Because
if I can stop you for a minute and tell everybody else, I say we because I feel I'm still part of Farpoint and Shore Leave at Point. Paul is a member of a theater group that does sci-fi, because I won't stick it just to Star Trek, but does parodies, which could be a cross between a Star Trek episode and Phantom of the Opera, and they're brilliant. And I actually played Data's twin brother. Okay, my brother was a short white guy. Okay, and I was the twin, and it was based on the Patty Duke show,
the Data Lore show. The Data Lore show.
The Data Lore show. And Paul is fantastic in a lot of his characters that he does. So what he's saying when he said he misses being on stage, that's it, because I miss those as well. Keep going, Paul. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, we've mainly done the Usual Suspects is kind of on indefinite hiatus, but then there's Prometheus Radio Theater where we do radio drama. And the last time we did one of those was in 2019. And those are really a blast. Those after a couple of years, we got to where the celebrity guests at the con would want to participate.
Yes. George Takei, Walter Koenig,
Robin Curtis.
Yeah.
Rob Paulson, Wallace Shawn.
Yes.
I have gotten to act on stage with Wallace Shawn.
That's awesome.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. So that's what you miss. That's what you felt.
Yeah, and the masquerade is always a blast because there will be people who are trying really hard, and there will be people who are trying really hard and just will knock you on your ass with the work they've done.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. I mean, when I started going to cons, I didn't do a lot of photography, and over the last 15 years or so, I've gotten to where I have a camera with me all the time. So I will take a bunch of photos. There have been far points where I have shot all my photos on my phone because that way I could post them as the con was happening. Whereas if I shot them with a regular camera, then I would have to wait until I got home and download them and edit them and all of that. The only drawback to using the phone is that digital zoom is not your friend.
Yeah. All right. So
all of that.
That's
the
great.
whole experience.
Okay, Jennifer, your turn, dear.
It's twofold for me. The thing that's most felt and gut wrenching for me on cons is that 5-day decompress where I get to be me and I don't have to worry about explaining myself or apologizing for anything that I do, for all of those social faux pas. I didn't get that this year. I didn't get to recharge my batteries. And
Yeah.
it's palatable and it's obvious. And the other one is the number of amazing people that we have lost. Mira Furlan is on the top of my mind, but there's also Sean Connery.
David Prowse.
David Proust. Yes, there's it seems like just the number, the absolute massive number of people that we've lost this year is just so, it weighs on me. You know, these are people that provided entertainment and love and joy to all of us, and we don't have the opportunity to thank them ever again. And that's really what gets me. That's the heart-wrenching, gut turning, just knife in the stomach feeling from this year.
Yeah, it is. I think you're absolutely correct on that. Luckily, a lot of the stars that have passed, a few of us, if not a lot of us, have seen them in person, had their 6 inches of time, with them during those times. I'm going to miss David. I'm going to miss Peter Mayhew. I'm going to miss people who I thought had many more years left and that we would see them again at cons just vanish before our eyes. That's very important. Joe, it goes to you, buddy boy. Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you. And I think Jennifer brought up a good point. I mean, just, the celebrity and the actors that portray these characters that we love, and that we identify with and that we fall in love with. Jeremy Bullock, I mean, obviously, as Boba Fett, really, there's an entire division of the Star Wars fan base, the Mandalorian mercs that are completely based off of Jeremy Bullock. But for me,
and Joe,
it's definitely yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to stay on that point that you were on right there. How ironic is it for Jeremy to die in a season of The Mandalorian popping up? It was like spiritually passing the torch.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, okay. It's amazing. So keep going, my friend.
No, but I mean, that brings up a good point. I mean, the iconic imagery that he embodied is really the inspiration for The Mandalorian more than anything else. And that's obviously probably the biggest geek, kind of series that we can get into. I mean, we can't really go and watch movies too much right now. You might go into a theater that's socially distanced with a mask, but there's no real movies that are coming into theaters right now. So what we have is streaming and Disney Plus, but stuff like that. But for me, it is back to the people. It's back to the friends, the friendships, and it's back to what I said before. It's the spectacle. I mean, it's that one time of the year that you get to feel like you're really part of something that's greater than yourself, that you share a passion with 80,000 other geeks and friends that you haven't met yet. And one of my favorite quotes that going back to Chuck again, that he uses a lot is the one from Gonzo from the Muppet movie, which is there is not really a stranger. It's just there's a word for friends who haven't met yet. And I have so many friendships that I have developed over the years from conventions and really from Dragon Con mostly, but from other conventions as well. That I would have never met these people outside of that. And there's an affinity, there's this we're out in the real world and we're at our jobs and with our family and our friends that are outside of the cons, and they don't necessarily get everything that we get. They're not as passionate about it as we are, and they kind of think that we're maybe the weird person in the friend group or in the family that geeks out about Star Trek or Star Wars or Firefly or whatever it may be, right? But
I still think
when
you're
we
all
go,
weird. You're all weird. What the hell, man?
but when we but
So
when we
are
go to
you.
conventions, we go to conventions and we find our family, our geek family that geeks about it just as hard as we do. I've been in like 2 or 3 hour conversations on alternate points about Star Wars with friends that it wasn't a hateful conversation,
Okay,
where we disagreed.
that's when I get up and leave the room. Okay, I am walking away from you freaks because the last thing I want to do is get in a freaking battle about Star Wars or even Star Trek. So you're weird. Okay.
No, it was an honest and genuine conversation. We all get drunk as hell, but our
that'll get me there.
but our feelings about it were genuine and real, and we found an affinity for each other, and I
Right.
think that's where it comes down to. It's the people.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, that's what I miss. To touch on that a little bit more before I go to Hansi here. I've met some incredible friends through cons. Jennifer is one of them up here on the screen. She was a pain in my ass at every auction I did, both her and her husband, but she spent money. So I figured, she stay. I think I'll keep her. And it's amazing the friendship. Like, you're not, I mean, it's probably dated maybe during the Bewitch era when you would invite your boss or your coworker home for dinner. That crap don't happen in real life. No, I don't think so. So the true friends that we do find are at these cons, and like Brad has said, it's like-minded people that we're around all the time. I definitely would not sit into a conversation about Star Trek or Star Wars to that 10th level. I just like Star Trek or Star Wars, but I don't dissect any of them. Like these crazy wackos that are out there now. They'd probably be the ones that storm the Galactic Empire, I'm sure. But
who you calling crazy wacko?
Yeah. You see me pointing? See this finger right here? See? I got another one for you. There's another one right there. I can do the Brady Bunch. I can do the Brady Bunch thing, okay? And I am. All of you guys are freaks. Hold on. If I get a finger, I'm punching Jerome in the head right now. But anyway, so the point is, we all attended conventions because we started off in our bedrooms and the bathrooms reading a comic book. Okay, it could have been a novel, and by that they were pulp novels, no pictures in them whatsoever. They smelled funny, but under the covers at night because we can't put this sucker down. And then when we saw an ad in the comic book or an ad in a Starlog magazine or Fangor or Cinema Fantastique of a con, somebody literally had the money to buy for space. Back in that day, you young farts, you had to put your ads in like 5 weeks if you wanted, for an upcoming issue close to when the convention was coming out. And we would run to those cons. We're like, oh, there's a science fiction convention that's up the street at the hotel. I wonder what that's like. And all you had to do was go one time. Just go one time and hook, line, and sinker. We got you. We got you. We will see you next year. Yep. We got you. And that's how we started standing in line next to someone, creating a conversation. Oh, yes. You're into Tarzan? You're into, Warlord? You're into Neil Adams? You're into Spider-Man? Oh my God, you're into Harry Potter? Well, get out. We don't want you here. But anyway, oh, you're into this? And that's what created the friendships because, oh, we didn't have the internet. Hey, give me your number, and you write your number down, and that's how the wildfire starts. Go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna say one thing I gotta bring up is I hear so many things from people, and it's not in cons necessarily, but about not liking lines. You know, like, oh, I want to go to Disney because I don't like lines, or I want to go to Universal because I don't like lines. I freaking love lines, and I'll tell you why. Because I've met I have people that are friends in social media I would never met that I made in lines. I mean, I was in a line one time at a blood drive at Dragon Con to give blood. It was a 4-hour line at Dragon Con to give blood.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
in the line with 4 other people. I'm still friends with 4 of those people, you know? And one of them,
Well, they're
here's the
vampires
weirdest
now, but I get it.
Here's the weirdest thing. One of them is married to a friend of mine from high school. They don't even live in the state anymore. I didn't even know that she was married to him. It was because we sat in line together for 4 hours that I was like, oh, you know, we developed this, you know, kind of affinity for each other and found out, oh, that's where the connection is. So I love lines. I love standing in line for a couple hours or something.
And you cannot find that method of friendship recruitment at anything else in the freaking world. You can't find it at church, you know, because you're listening to the pastor, and then after that, you just want to get the hell home because the football game's about to come on. You don't do it in the grocery line, especially now when you're 6 feet away. You're waving, hey, what's your name? You know, stuff like that. It's where you do it. Okay, Hansi. Oh, hold on. Let me put this up from your girl, Joe. She's ragging on you again. Let's see here. My favorite con memory was my first meeting Mark and Chuck. Taking the crowd, which as an introvert was overwhelming at times, but I took it in and appreciated all the hard work put in by all. It was amazing. All right, Chuck. Joe, you can keep her.
She's definitely a keeper. Yeah, she's definitely a keeper.
Yeah, I love that girl. She's awesome. Hansi,
totally,
oh my God, girl.
Totally.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was
Hansi,
gonna say she
something
was totally me.
So,
something heartfelt, dear.
Well, in my life, in my family, you know, I talk pop culture all the time, and mostly I get glazed eyes from my family. But one time I took my daughter to New York Comic Con, and we were sitting on the steps by where the press is, watching the people milling around, and my daughter was like, always like, no one knows what you're talking about, Mom. And I pointed to the crowd and I said, they all do.
That is awesome. That is awesome. But I guess we all have had that occasion where if you had a family member that they may like sci-fi, they may look at it occasionally, and something on the TV is on that you probably know the script by heart. You could recite everything that's coming up on the screen, and your family members are kind of like, how do you know this movie? And that's when you know, oh my God, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't say anything. Don't do it, you know?
Monty Python movies. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Monty Python. I can say nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more to my family members, and they're like, huh? What does that mean?
Or just say,
you know?
Does she go? Does she go? Right? Hey,
and
you know, does
everybody,
she go?
we all know what that joke is, but you know, when I do it at my parents' house, they're like, has my son gone crazy? What?
The number of the count shall be 3.
Okay.
Your mother was a goat. Your mother was a goat, and your father smelt of elderberries. Now go away, or I shall.
See what I mean? 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 And
Tim,
everybody, let's hear who the first person can yell this out. And what did we call those people?
Geeks.
Nerds.
No,
Geeks.
not us. Not us. Them.
Mundanes.
Muggles. Oh, Muggles. Mundanes.
Muggles, yeah.
The late
Mundanes. Muggles. I think mundane. I think Mundanes was out first, but yes, they were Mundanes.
Mundanes, but I also called them boring.
Yes. And let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you guys something real quick. When I'm on stage and I have the opportunity to do this, I literally I call out professions and ask for those people to stand up in the audience, because the ones who are not sure what other people do for a living, okay, think they're all still children who live in their mother's basement and never kissed a girl before. I call them out. I say, all the doctors in the room, please stand up. All the lawyers in the room, please stand up. All the physicists in the rooms, because one of my good friends, she just retired, but she works for NASA and she's a freaking rocket scientist. Okay. I call out those names just to let the other people in the room know, look, it's not just you who probably look, act, talk, and accused of being funny. Look what company you are keeping. Okay, be proud, be happy. They are our people. One of us. One of us. One of us. You know.
I mean, at DragonCon, at 1 year, I had a sitting judge who was working on my volunteer staff.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Who is the senator that we just lost who went to DragonCon, John?
Yeah, John Lewis. Yeah.
Exactly.
Come on, you really have expected John Lewis to show up at DragonCon in your wildest dreams?
He did. John Lewis have shown up at many DragonCons, Jerome.
Yeah, I'm
John
not saying
Lewis.
that. What I'm saying is how many people out there would actually have thought of John Lewis showing up? Or I got one for you. Who would have guessed that Bush the Elder was a Star Trek fan?
True.
Right.
Or
Okay.
even Obama. Obama's a Star Trek fan.
Oh, yeah. He's a Vulcan. No drama.
All right, let's move on here. So Lee, he's a Vulcan. I heard that. Lee, I need something heartfelt from you, since we're getting close to ending this broadcast, in terms of your absence of the cons.
All right. Main thing that I can say is what I would call chosen family. And in particular, this mask was made by one of the members of the Marriott, the Cult of the Marriott Carpet. Her name is Kayla. And not only did she make this for me, she also made a baby onesie in the carpet pattern for the owner of the company that wrapped my truck. Okay, that's one thing. There's one other thing that I have to mention is the one and only time that I have cosplayed was actually my first year at DragonCon. I cosplayed as Adam Savage. And that was the year that Grant Imahara showed up.
Yep.
He was a guest. And ironically enough, there was another guy in the crowd that was a dead ringer for Jamie Heineman. So what they did is we actually had gone over to the area for the autographs instead of going to the panel, because they were one right after the other. And so one of the people who was one of the line wranglers, I guess, or one of the organizers for the room, pulled the two of us aside and had us waiting so that when Grant came in, he put the three of us on stage. And it was like paparazzi times 1,000. I mean, all the flash bulbs going off were absolutely amazing. And he was so gracious, so humble. He said, "Man, you guys did a good job." And the thing is that the other guy and I didn't know each other, but we came together in that moment, and we lost Grant this past year.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of my more treasured memories of Dragon Con, amongst all the other stuff that I have done. I'm seeing the carpets from Joe and Jennifer. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And okay, Mark, I see it. And so the chosen family of carpet and the meetings of people that like I said, we unfortunately lost Grant this past year. And as a side note, not only did we lose Mira today, we also lost Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can say that I have actually, when I was growing up, my dad was in the Air Force, stationed in Warner Robins, a couple hours south of Atlanta. I can say that I had the privilege of watching Hank Aaron play a baseball game.
Wow.
So, anyway,
oh my God. Yeah. I wish I had.
So anyway, but like I said, it's the family, the carpet family. Like I said, I hope some way I can show this to Kayla, just how much I appreciate what she has done for me, not only with the mask, but with the onesie. And it's a family like none other, and I call it chosen family. So
yeah.
And Mark, if I can just interject Lee's story there about Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron in Atlanta owns a lot of businesses, and one of them happens to be a Krispy Kreme that is about 4 miles from where I live. And when I was a very active runner, I would run to that Krispy Kreme, grab a couple of donut holes and a glass of water, and then run back. Well, one morning I run in there, grab my usual, and I get this guy in the corner, or I hear this voice in the corner saying, "Oh, where'd you run in from?" And I turn around. He is sitting in this Krispy Kreme, just having a cup of coffee, and I'm like, I turn, I'm like, who's asking me this? And then I realized it was Hank Aaron. I said, I live in East Point. I just ran up here about 4 miles. I got another trip. I come in here to get my sugar fixed by having the donut holes and water. And he turns to the cashier and goes, "The next time this guy comes in, plus today, here's his comp." And, and I'm like, no, you don't need to. I mean, it was only maybe $1.50 worth of purchase.
Doesn't matter.
But
that's,
when I heard that today, that was the first memory that popped out. And I'm like, here's a man that he owns all these restaurants and this and that, but he took the time out of his morning to see some guy coming in, obviously running, and to ask me where I was living at and this and that, and like, and then when to say, well, Mr. Aaron, and he turns around and says, "Call me Hank." I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you can bear with me for a couple seconds. I got Eric down in the room, but I want to, how do I do this? Oh my God, I hope this works. Stand by, guys. Okay. I want to stand by, guys. Oops. How do I get that full screen? Let's try this again. Well, I said I wasn't going to show this. I changed my mind. So now I'm actually trying to get it up on the screen. Chrome tab there. Okay. Here. Share. Here. How do I get that? Oops, maybe it's coming up. All right. Lee just gave us a great story about the people he's met. Now I just want you to look at his ass.
Oh no.
So John is laying on the stage. John laid down on the stage,
To
and
look up
I
your
did my
joke?
little twirl above him. And you may not be able to hear it, but he asked if I was there with my significant other, and I said yes, my wife. And he said, "Lucky bitch."
Oh, jeez.
That's great.
Where was this at?
Heroes and Villains in Atlanta. I believe it was 17.
So you're not America's ass, you're Atlanta's ass.
Absolutely. I will take that. I will take that honor with pride.
And it's these crazy.
All right,
it's
so
these
that
crazy-
was in fact the impeccable John Barrowman,
and you know what? From an audience point of
whoops,
view,
hold on,
it
guys.
is- Yeah, sorry. Mark's
No,
having
go ahead.
problems.
Whoever.
Yeah, I
that
know we're
was.
talking over each other right now. Yeah, yeah. Stand by for a minute. I'm trying to get Smoke up. I don't know if I can get him. Nope, I got to drop one of you guys. Yeah, I know. I got to drop one of you guys.
You
so
can go
stand
ahead and
by.
drop me. I need to get up for the night anyway. So, everyone,
All right.
thank you. Pleasure.
John, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Thank
Some
you,
of you-
sir.
Lee, I gotta
Guys, bring
say,
Smoke up. All right.
Lee, I gotta
Who's
say,
talking?
I am. Just, Lee. I keep picturing your giant pickup truck in wrapped with that carpet pattern. And
Isn't your truck the magic carpet ride? Isn't that what you call it?
Absolutely, that's the
Okay.
one.
Thank
And
you.
I actually have.
if I was out
a-
running it, if I was out running errands and stuff, and I saw that, you better believe I'd take a couple of photos of that, and it'd be on Flickr.
You would be surprised at the number of notes that I get on my windshield when I'm at work. I happen to work for a retailer that sounds a lot like West Guy, and a lot of people. I have come out to more than one note, probably at least 5 or 6 notes of people who have recognized the truck and have left a note for me saying, "You just made my day," or something similar. And
All right, guys, we're gonna stop that story so we can move on
Okay.
to the other people that we have, and so we can get off.
Okay.
Basically, I've been asking for some heartfelt stories from people about their con experiences. Smoke, welcome to the show, man. Sorry you couldn't be here earlier, but I'm glad you made it nonetheless.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We can hear you
Okay.
well. Stand
Good,
by.
good.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come to you in a few minutes, but right now I want to go to Dennis, the mad scientist, since we got a final 2, now 3 that we're gonna go ahead and get final statements from for this show. We've been on for more than 2.5 hours, so I know some of you guys want to go to bed or continue their drinking. Anyway, so Dennis, my brother.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
me, heartfelt final statement on what it's like to have this convention experience of yours.
Well, the episode is called A Level of Emptiness, and for me, a big love language is quality time. And I immensely miss my con family right now. Like I said earlier on, I have more people in the con setting than in my real life as friends that have actually become family over time. But quality time also has been for my actual family. My wife and daughter and I do a lot of conventions together. It's amazing to see my daughter at age 17 going on 18 spend 6 months building a cosplay, debuting it and winning at a competition, or seeing Tara build something for a costume or prop, run into somebody that's the character she's cosplaying as on TV, and that person tells them that what she made was better than what they have on set for wardrobe and props. I mean, it's a big rush to have that kind of time together with my family, to have that means of self-expression. And we get to have a road trip. Every time we go to a convention, we're traveling together and we're spending time together, that we're making memories. And that's something that I value. And this last year, we just really haven't had the chance to do.
Right. Excellent. 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 Thank you so much for that. Let me get this out of your face. We move on to Jennifer. Jennifer, oh, wait a minute. Is it Jennifer or is it, no, it's Rose. We got you already, Jennifer.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So Rose, same thing, same topic here, same question.
Okay. Well, conventions have always been my release. And it was always something I looked forward to. I went to 4 or 5, tapered down over the past couple of years, but still, even local shows, and I miss them very much. But to add on to what Dennis said, my children have grown up with me. When I went to conventions, they used to just stay in the hotel room with their dad. But as they got older, they started to want to go out, and to see their moments with them and have them like either, have these fan moments for the first time was just like some remarkable moments that we'll always have as a family. With my son getting to meet Will Wheaton when he didn't really know him from Wesley Crusher. He knew him from Big Bang Theory. And to meeting him he was just ecstatic at the time. And he was just a little guy. And with my daughter, when she got to meet Tom Kenny, who did the voice of SpongeBob, that was like her first real big fangasm moment that she had. And as she's gotten older, we've done so many different things together at conventions. And, when she turned 17, we went to see The Room together at one of these midnight showings. And it's one of her favorite memories. And we haven't had it. We had nothing this last year to really think about or remember. So it is, it's not just my con family, it's my family. And, we lost out on so much, and I feel like this year's going to be more or less of the same, and I just can't wait to get back out there, with my con family and with my own family, sharing and having these great moments and memories.
Awesome. All right, and a latecomer here. This is Eric the Smoke Moran. He was a pro wrestler, but he is a major cosplayer. He's in the upper echelon of the Yaya Hans, if you know who she is, and the characters that he had created over the years in the cosplay circuit, whether he's at Dragon Con or whether he's at New York Comic Con, is epic. And you can go to his Facebook page and take a look at his work. It's mind-blowing. I just can't understand how he came up with some of the things that he's done in the convention world. But basically, Smoke, we've been talking about our loss of conventions, what we're used to going to, 4 times a year minimum, to some con, and where we're down to 0, and what it's doing to us. Not only are we forced to stay in our homes and Netflix the hell out of life, we can't even go outside to talk to our neighbors half the time, when we're so used of saying, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, can I get by? Excuse me, watch my costume. You're going to get stuck. Excuse me, back up. We don't hear that anymore. Okay, now we're stuck to saying those same damn things to the TV, and they can't respond back. That sucks. I need some interaction. So my question, Smoke, out of the number of questions we've asked tonight, is let me ask you this first. What is it that you miss greatly about not having a con, or being away from the convention experience right now?
I miss the idea of being able to camaraderie, the brother sisterhood. I miss the idea of being able to meet a lot of different people, interact with people. It's one of the few places I go to therapeutically, mentally for me, that I feel comfortable because I'm not good with crowds. Believe it or not, even though I do the cosplay stuff and I entertain, I'm not very good with crowds. When I'm in the cosplay Comic-Con world, whether I'm touring, whether I'm cosplaying, whether I'm hosting, or I'm even doing a panel, or I'm a guest, that's where I feel the best times, because for me, I'm around like-minded people. It doesn't matter about politics. It doesn't matter about red or blue. It doesn't matter about what color you are or gender you are. It's all like-minded people for the most part. It's like-minded people that you're around, and they're all in the same wavelength, and which makes it so cool. And that's some of the best environments I've been on and been to. Interacting with people that have the same mindset, that have the same love of the fandom, which is anything across the board: fantasy, horror, sci-fi, you name it, making films, doing films, being in films, doing TV, not doing TV. It's all wrapped up in one big bow. And the thing is, for me, I came up I'm a Gen Xer, so I came up during the era where we didn't really have that many cons. We didn't really have places to go to share our fandom for our love. We were pen pal. We would read Starlog magazine or Monsters magazine or Fangoria to be able to say, oh, wow, and to be able to marvel at the idea of going to a con. Then when Creations came out, you had the Star Trek cons and you had the little mini cons, and it was small. You didn't have too many people. Now it's like it's grown to really large proportions. And for me, well over 11 years, 12 years, between, like you said, between Dragon Con, all the other cons I've attended, where I've been guest, where I've worked on these shows and all, it's been a blast. So for me, it's like going back in time, starting back from day one. And, we all know eventually some of these cons will come back, maybe not at the large capacity that it was before, but we have to start back off somewhere. But it's cool because also we're going to get the genuine fans back. We're going to get the cosplayers back. I think for me, during the time since COVID, I have been more creative than anything. Reaching out to my cosplay family, reaching out to my con family, like yourself, Mark, who I keep in contact with. I miss everyone, but I do know that, eventually things will get better. But the fact that this is the time that I challenge myself, this is the time that I get creative. I have done so much and got a lot achieved during this time. And it's bittersweet because you can't really do as much as you want, but I've had so much fun. Like last week, I just did a cosplay, the second cosplay of this year, where it went viral. And I didn't expect it to go as viral as it did. And I was able to get together with a small group of my con family / cosplay family and be able to do something, social distancing the whole nine, and have fun. And I'm like, man, I cannot wait to try to start doing a little bit more here, a little bit. It's going to be a little like we got to chip away. It's like we got to chip away each time, but it's each month goes by. Again, these cons will probably never be as big because, again, it's going to take time to get back.
Yeah.
Again, eventually it will give it a couple of years, but it's a thing where I'm used to it because we didn't have it, and the fact that now we're getting back to it down the road and all, I'm looking forward to it. I'm totally looking forward to it.
Well, to interject a bit here, a lot of us here that's on camera right now came from the small con days. Where the max a hotel could hold was 1,000 to 1,500 people. Before cons entered convention centers, probably the first one was probably Worldcon. Before cons like that entered convention centers, there was a lot more personal interaction with people, because at those times, during those days, the convention was inside of a hotel. So I can run up to my room and use the bathroom. I can run up to my room to get more alcohol. I can come back down with more alcohol. I could just stay in the hallway because a bunch of people are on their way up. And it's not like the convention centers where you have to vacate it by 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and then make your own party. Hopefully your friends are staying at the same hotel. So it's different now, or it was different recently within the last few years with these big box cons. And then no cons at all, which it was almost like a Planet of the Apes type scenario where it just grew too big that everybody basically destroyed each other. And next thing you know, the only thing that are left are apes. And the apes basically said, let's do a convention. And next thing you know, you got apes running all over the place, you know, and so Smoke, you're absolutely right. When it does come back, it's going to be interesting to see how. And being an insider, being, you know, a former organizer, knowing how some of these organizers are going to attack the next convention, I'm pretty sure they're on the fence as well, but they're going to follow the rules that's been set not only by the government, okay, but by the fears of the fans. Even if a convention, let's say the first convention, well, let's see, Dragon Con is Labor Day weekend, that's September. Let's say that's the first convention, although MegaCon pushed theirs back from May to August. So that'll probably be the first con. They're used to having 50 to 60,000, sometimes 100,000. Are we going to see 100,000 people in August? Are we going to see anybody in August? You know, which jeopardizes Dragon Con for 2021. You know, and
I think it's a thing where they're going to probably have to go back to basics. Think about, like, it's a good point you made right there, Mark, where you said basically it's going to have to go back to square one. We're going to have to probably treat these shows at a smaller capacity where you can't have the large capacities like you did back in the day with Dragon Con. When Dragon Con started, it was small and it expanded. I think we're going to have to go back to the idea of doing small shows, which I don't think that's going to be a problem, because I think when you have it smaller, the outcry, the outpouring of the fans, and in some cases, because of financial reasons, some people won't be able to do what they used to do because they got jobs or they got other obligations. So they're going to have to, you know, condense their time. Even if they go to a show, they won't be able to stay. Maybe some of them won't be able to stay a full weekend, maybe maybe a day or two, where before they would stay a week. And so, well, I think, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mark.
Yeah, you're right. I want to ask Jerome this, but I'm gonna put a scenario in front of you guys. Okay. I want to stay away from the fan attendance because fans come for a reason. Either it's to come see their friends where they can cosplay their butt off, or they're coming to see a celebrity. So let's start with the celebrities. I'm sure there are going to be some celebrities who are still going to refuse to fly. Okay. So if you know, for in the old days, Jerome, you'll remember this too. There was usually 2 or 3 guest actors at a convention. Imagine that. Okay, 2 or 3. Usually you got a headliner, then you got somebody under him, and then you may have a Chase Masterson. Okay, just throwing it out there. Okay. Where the conventions were having, how many will we have, Lee or Joe, at a Dragon Con? Like 60, 70 to 100? No, the number is 400.
400.
Yes, it's 400.
I think our top was 85,000.
And that included writers and artists as well. But when you have a walk of fame and you got table after table after table after table of celebrities, and just getting those folks, I mean, literally the first question that's got to be put to them is, are you okay with flying? Okay, I mean, we get guests from overseas. Okay, guests are coming from England. Suppose the situation hasn't warranted itself where their situation over there in England is solved and they're okay to fly. Suppose it's vice versa, because it's not. Okay, we just lost all the British guests. Okay, so the guests are going to attract fans, but what guests do you think are going to be willing to fly around the middle of this year, August, September? Because these actors coming from old days, Jerome, and I still got a question for you, Jerome, coming from the old days, they would get paid a set fee and they would sign every autograph in the house. That's it. You got 1,500 people there. You're getting paid $20,000 to be here. You got to write 1,500 autographs. Okay. Now that it became big box, where you got population of 80,000, 100,000 people, the actors have realized I can pay my mortgage this month if I get just 1% of that crowd. Is that mindset going to be with them, Jerome, when asked, are you willing to fly?
To be honest, it depends upon the actor or the celebrity. If I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound horrible, but if they ain't been working for a while, they need the cash. Look at what happened in the 70s with Gene Roddenberry and William Shatner and all the rest. I mean, you look at Gene Roddenberry. He said alone in many documentaries that they survived on the convention circuit, that they wouldn't have eaten dinner without the convention circuit. That's how poor he was. Shatner was living outside of his truck at one point after Star Trek. Okay. If they haven't worked in a while, they're going to fly. They know which side their bread is buttered. But if they think that they're going to be safe, they'll fly. But it really comes down to cash. That's why it's called show business.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I interject real quick?
I agree with you.
Well, I'm sorry, Mark. Oh, Mark, go ahead, because I wanted to interject something real quick while it's on my mind.
Please,
real quick. I feel that, and you got a good point, because as someone who's done and who's been on both sides of the fence. I think the biggest thing now, I mean, even currently right now during COVID, they've had a couple different cons like GalaxyCon, where they'll have celebrity guests on Zoom, and they're still making their money via Zoom, where you get to do a personal one-on-one video chat. You get to keep the video, and you get to talk to them one-on-one. So some of these celebrities that are doing now stuff and everything, someone's going to corner the market in that area where they're going to say, hey, we're going to do a video con, where we're going to have all these celebrities, and they're going to make.
It's already happened.
It's already happened.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, with the people that I know that have been going to these cons since the 60s, they're looking at this going, it ain't the same.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know, not a chance to shake your hand or just to breathe the same air as this celebrity, the writer, whatever. Okay. And I actually see them write that autograph, versus, here's that autograph, and hand it out like a deck of cards. That is an entirely different experience than what we're doing right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay?
I don't even consider it. I don't even consider it an experience. It's personal taste. I know it's personal taste. If this is the only way you can get an actor's autograph, by doing a one-on-one video, and you pay to have their autograph sent to you, rather than you standing 6 inches from their face, holding their hand or whatever, going absolutely gaga because you're watching somebody from Supernatural literally signing an autograph in front of you. I don't understand how they're doing it, and how this is successful.
You're losing the personal encounter.
Right.
Hold on. I'll take Paul. Make it brief, Paul. Go ahead.
You're losing the personal encounter.
Yes.
With that scenario, you want to actually make eye contact and talk to the person.
Agreed. Okay.
And I will say,
as I was saying, a lot of these celebrities, you got your celebrities like Barrowman, who will love interacting with the fans. I love the celebrities that love interacting with the fans. I love it. Yes. They're the ones that are they're really probably like killing them. But those celebrities that are particular, and we all know we've seen a lot of those particular celebrities are particular about fans and how they approach them and all that. To a lot of them, this is the best thing that could have happened, because now, one, they don't have to travel. They don't have to go through the ins and outs. They're in their privacy of their own home. They get to say, hey, how you doing, and all this stuff. You get to cut off the computer and go back in the room and sit back on the bed and say, oh, I just made $3,000 to $5,000 in a 2-hour period just talking with the fans. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality that we're dealing with. For us, most of us on this panel, we were fortunate enough to be able to say, hey, I remember when we interacted with these celebrities. We've done stuff on stage with them. We've hosted for Mark and myself, so it's a trip, because it is like a change that's coming, and it's unfortunate. Like the newer generation that's coming out, they will never know what it was like to experience like you said, Paul, the rub shoulders, that interaction, to be able to eye contact with that person and be able to talk with them. It is a whole different scenario when you're just seeing them on video chat. So
I
go
got
ahead.
you. Joe, go ahead, Joe. You wanted to say something.
Well, the only thing I was gonna say was in reference to these like virtual cons and everything. I attended several during the pandemic, and I gotta say the one that was definitely the most geared towards fans and what the fans were looking for as far as wanting to make that connection with other people and see something new or see something that reminded them of the convention experience was Dragon Con. I mean, I did the Comic-Con one, I did New York Comic-Con one, I did E3, I did various different other ones. But the one thing that Dragon Con did right is that not only did they have programming, which is, what you expect. Like, hey, I can look on a schedule and see this is what I want to watch. But they did something really clever. They integrated modern technology. So they used the Discord chat, and Discord became a huge thing for Dragon Con. I've never used Discord before, even though I'm a gamer. I've never Discord just seemed a little too newfangled for me, And man, I gotta tell you, I jumped in there, and there's 40,000 people in Discord chatting with each other. That's amazing.
Hansi.
At the same time, though, the Dragon Con, the convention experience isn't the same when you don't have it live, And I think the biggest challenge we have right now is the way things are going to move in the next few months, and see what, not to get political, but see what the new administration is going to do to get us under control, to see if we can actually do this in 6 months or so,
Gotcha. Hansi, go next, please. Hansi, don't fall asleep on me.
No, I'm not asleep. How could I fall asleep?
Okay, you have anything to add?
Well, I think what's probably going to happen is both will happen. We'll keep virtual cons because obviously there is a market for it. And as you said, some celebrities and, God knows I've met a few, obviously really don't like interacting with the fans. And then, hopefully once we have this pandemic in hand, we'll be able to go back to maybe not the biggest cons, but smaller cons, which I'm fine with because those are always fun too. So I think we're going to see both, but it's just a matter of when, we'll get to be able to see each other in person again.
Gotcha. Jennifer, you have something to say?
I do, and it's unfortunately going to be something of a downer, but I feel it's necessary to say I'm concerned when cons start up, not from the celebrity side of it, but from the Gap side of it. There are people that I see every year at Dragon Con that I'm not friends with on Facebook, and I don't know their status. I don't know what's happened to them over this past year. And I'm going to get there, and there's going to be a gap. Mike, the guy who makes my room in at Gibney's, is he still there? The lady who runs the disability services, is she still there? These are people that are part of my life, but I'm not aware of I don't even know their names. I couldn't tell you Mike's last name. I couldn't even tell you the director of disability services name at all. But I don't, and I'm going to get there, and there's going to be gaps. There's going to be people, I'm going to get there, and it's going to be heart wrenching. And I'm kind of, I have trepidation about when cons start up again because of that.
All right, Dennis, last statement.
Well, I think we're going to eventually get back to the cons, but right now it's going to be on a play-by-ear basis. We still have our tickets for Dragon from last year that's carrying over to this year. Hopefully we get to use it, but it was kind of nice to have a little bit of something that was Dragon Con related. When it was supposed to be going on, we actually hooked up a laptop to the big screen TV in the cabin that we rented up in northern Georgia. We had a little getaway. Yeah. We still went to Georgia even though there was no con, and we still got to have somewhat of a con experience even though we're in the middle of the mountains in the middle of nowhere. So we got to make do. I mean, that's kind of where we're at with it.
Yeah, got it. Lee, go.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly who it was from the Dragon Con organization who said this, but they mentioned how because of the pandemic, it was a lot easier to book celebrities for a 3-hour time frame than a 3-day time frame.
Sure.
And so that's going to be something that's going to be that we're going to have to account for in the future, as far as, you know, because actually traveling, staying, dining, hoteling, everything else. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll add this. We did a away mission once where William Shatner, it was supposed to be both William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy couldn't make it. What we did was we live streamed Leonard Nimoy to the audience in the ballroom, and he took us on a tour of his house and pretty much told us, this is my train set, which was mounted up on the wall up near the ceiling. The train was moving, and people went gaga. We were still allowed to ask questions. You come up to the mic, you're watching Leonard on the screen, and you literally ask him questions. And that was the first virtual con. I'm sorry. I don't think anybody else who's done that. A celebrity may have called in, may have called into the audience, but we had Leonard on the screen and did a virtual event, and we love that. Do I want to see that with every celebrity who can't make it to a convention? Hell no. No way. We paid money for you to be here. Okay. We understand you can't be here. You could have the actor could have canceled out, but he said, no, can I talk to the audience some other way? Thus, we had the Leonard Nimoy virtual convention at an away mission here in Orlando, and it was fantastic. Paul, I'll let you go next about what we were talking about in terms of the virtual cons.
Yeah, Farpoint is virtual this year. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday, and it's not President's Weekend, 20th, 21st, I think, because they wanted to have the con, but with it's February and things are not going to be open by February. And honestly, it's not until this thing is under control, it's really not a great idea to have a few hundred people in an enclosed space for 3 days. So I could see doing virtual programming to have something in place of the con, because you can do a virtual masquerade, you can do virtual panel discussions. We could do a radio show if one of us would write one, and I say that as somebody who's been threatening to write one for 3 years. But you can't do the whole convention experience virtually. And while having a Zoom with a celebrity is great, you've got to, because the celebrity is going to need to be paid, then there's going to need to be attendees are going to have to pay for access to that, because they're not going to, even if it's just for an hour on Saturday and an hour on Sunday, they're not going to do it for free. They're not going to be able to charge $15K for it like they do for an in-person appearance. And there's no autograph guarantee, but there is going to have to be some sort of payment set up if you want to have a celebrity at your virtual con.
Yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse. A lot of this stuff was already mentioned, and I think we get the gist of what people or what fans are not going to accept. Jerome, go ahead.
50 years ago this weekend was the very first TrekCon in New York.
Oh my God, TrekCons, huh?
Right, and this was 400 people were expected, 4,000 showed up. Yeah, and here's the thing, okay? Conventions had been going on beforehand. Matter of fact, the first real conventions were in 1938. Okay, and that was people showing up. No, regular convention, not Worldcon. Worldcon came after that.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was held up. They were held up here in Boston because a certain science fiction author was a student up here, and he helped organize it. You might have heard of him, Isaac Asimov. They formed a convention for no other reason than for other fans to get together to talk about science fiction and the stuff they'd read in Gernsback's books and all that. And a few of the writers decided to show up. And that's how it started, and that's how we're going to go back to again after the pandemic is over, because people are going to go slow. They're going to be scared. They're not going to do what's going on. The virtual stuff will happen, but you know what? There's nothing like shaking somebody's hand or being real close. And that's why we will always have in live conventions.
Well, it's going to be tough for the organizers, and knowing a little bit of the mindset of some of the organizers of various conventions, I think this virtual bit, if it's making profit for them, they're not going to let that go. It's now going to end up being a backup once they go to real life. The problem is going real life in terms of arrangement of ballrooms. I don't think they could probably fill a convention center yet. I really, it's two-sided. The fans are going to be rabid at the mouth to get back at a con. People like me are not going to go back to a con as quickly as some fans, other fans would want to. I don't care if they offer me a job. Until I got a better grip on what this pandemic is doing and what the vaccine is doing, I can't make a decision right now on where I'll be in 6 months. It's impossible to do that probably for anybody, but I'm looking at it more on the organizing side because they have to plan further out than my plans are. All I'm going to be doing is looking for a hotel room and airfare. They literally have to book a convention center, book a lot of other support services, and sign contracts, and then hope to God that they'll be able to have the convention on that date. But they got to do it a lot further out than we as the fans have to. So I'm really, really curious on what's going through their minds and what they plan on doing. And, if I had to gamble on it, everybody is basically just waiting this out for a little bit longer. But I'm sure there's a deadline. I'm sure that the organizers said, look, if we don't make a decision by May, we're not having it. It's not like they can form a convention a month before the con.
Yeah, there's no way, exactly, and that's the point. Like for something as big as MegaCon, DragonCon, New York Comic Con, SDCC, they almost have to have everything rolling at least 3 to 4. Like 3 to 4 months is the bare minimum. 6 months is probably really the window they need. But 3 to 4 months is like pushing it, like everybody working crazy overtime just to make it happen. So yeah, a lot of it's going to depend on where we're at by spring, or end of winter, early spring.
Well, Fauci is already mentioning the word he used was fall in terms of getting close to normalcy. Now that's touching into DragonCon territory, and anything before that, you might as well forget it.
Yeah.
I've already written up. I've already written up 2021.
For my other hobby, I am assuming that I am not assuming that anything indoors is going to happen before summer.
Right. Yeah. That's basically what we're. Yeah, that's basically what we're saying here. But with so many conventions, the first big convention season is usually Memorial Day, and that's in May. I know shows that happen in April. Eric, has Chris mentioned anything? Oops, he's twirling. Oh, that's Hansi coming up. Has Chris mentioned anything to you about his April shows?
Not right now. Like everything's still up in the air because we don't know. And like you said, you got to plan out way in advance. People think that, and this is the reality. People think that when you're putting a show together, you could do it within a week and all. It takes time, and especially during this time right now, you got to like you said, Mark. You got to plan this out way in advance. People got to realize we're still in a pandemic. It's a pandemic. Yes. If not any of you guys, but for the people out there that need to know what pandemic means, look it up on Google or go.
Oh yeah, we know. Yeah.
And so they got to realize that, you know, we're not there yet. And I mean, a good friend of you and mine's, Mark, Curtis. Special shout out to Curtis.
I know. I've been keeping track. Yeah.
And
he's
so
in the hospital.
Yeah. So when I see someone like that who's very lively in the con circuit and all, this is serious. So me personally, I'm good with it. I mean, I'm good with I'm good with the virtual conventions right now and everything. I'm good with it because of the fact that I'd rather see everyone come back together than to have half those people come back because they're no longer here with us, because we jumped too far ahead. So we gotta be a little bit smarter on this, and not just because we're not looking at it on the money aspect, trying to make money. We got to make sure that people's well-being comes first. And that's the thing. I couldn't care less if I had to wait another 2 years for a show. I will work around it and find ways to be creative about it and bring other people along with me, because there's always ways around it. We're most of us in here, we were around when there were not that many cons around. I'm adapted to that. So going, like I said, we just have to be, as much as we love to talk about this, but the reality is right now it's just not going to happen right away. And for those people that are having the smaller shows, I'm sorry, for those people who are having the smaller shows, hey, I wish them all the luck. But they probably went into the idea of knowing that we can't have a big show, we can only have this amount of people in here, and we got to make sure rules are followed.
And to be honest with you, I'm really not interested in a crowd less than what I'm used to. I'm not, I don't go and sit in on celebrity talks or anything like that. I go to interact with the crowds. And even if it is 20,000 people there, if people are basically keeping their distance with 20,000 people, they literally consciously are keeping their distance. Why am I even here? I'm not going to have a conversation with a group of people and we're all standing 6 feet away, because that's what we have to do, because we have no choice. That doesn't interest me in going to a con. It just doesn't. And there are so many people on the boards right now who are either complaining or they're excited and anxious because they think 2021 is going to give them what they miss, which is what this show is about. I'm fair. I'm okay with basically saying 21 is a bust. I don't know how even the organizers and the fans themselves can operate. I know we got to get back to normalcy, but normalcy to me is what it was back in early 2019 and late 2018. And if we can't have that in 2021, why am I even here?
Yeah, if we do have, like, let's say, because Dragon Con tends to be one of the later cons in the con season.
Labor Day,
New York Comic Con, it really is like the finality of the con season. But if we do have Dragon Con in 2021, it will be vastly less people. I mean, I'm talking like, so last Dragon Con that was actually in person was a record, again, because they always set records. I think it was like 85 or 89,000 people.
Yeah,
I'm imagining that if we do have a physical con this year, it'll be less than half of that. I mean, less than
of course.
And that's less than half over the course of 5 days. So if we have a Dragon Con, it will be much smaller. Much smaller.
Hey Lee, how you doing there, buddy?
Doing good.
Well, I'm thinking if there's not a lot of celebrities there, especially the A-listers, there's no need for them to need my services. There's enough moderators around Dragon Con that, we were bringing on new people because we just couldn't handle all the panels. And if the panels, I'm not valuable. I don't think that they would think that they need my help. I honestly think that they would use somebody else. If not, the force is cut in half as well. I'm sure we'll get letters asking if we even are interested in coming, which my decision hasn't been made yet. I'm checking on this health situation first before I make any kind of decision. And if they force me to say, well, we need an answer this week, then right there on the spot, I'll say, I'll see you in 22, if you still want me. But, if they're doing it for their financial gain, okay, because we can do a convention with 40,000 people. We don't need the 80. Okay, that's fine. What guests are coming? Well, we can't get anybody from Star Trek. We can't get anybody from Star Wars. We can't get anybody from yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to be selfish and say, well, I'll only come if this specific individual is there. No, I'm Dragon Con related. I'm not actor related, but my health is going to be my first concern. Will I be safe? Okay. Do I have to walk around the hallways with a mask on? That's not going to work. Cosplayers are not going to accept that. They're going to be pulling that sucker down every 30 seconds to say hi to somebody, to hug and kiss, whatever. It's going to, if they think that they can control the illness in an enclosed environment by putting out these rules, that I don't think that's going to work.
I mean, you have a hard time telling certain cosplayers, not all. You have a hard time telling certain cosplayers to take a shower, or even con-goers to take a shower. So imagine what that's going to be like now. I mean, I was thinking about that not too long, and I was like, oh my god, social distancing.
D&D room.
Yeah, a D&D room. Yes. Oh my god, a D&D room, a Dragon Con D&D room, which I never step into. Okay, without a mask.
Are you saying you guys don't miss that lovely aroma?
Oh, is that what that is? I dare you to strike a match. I dare you. I dare you to strike.
Easy.
And you're dealing with people that already don't know how to recognize social boundaries for a long time.
Talk about boundaries. A dear friend once put it to me as Mountain Dew sweat and Dorito farts.
Yes.
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 Wow.
Yes. So, I don't know what the organizer is going to do, but whatever they do, I still don't think it's going to be enough. It's not going to be controllable.
Too many variables.
It's not going to be controllable. Guys, we had a great show here. You guys were, my clock says 3 hours, 12 minutes. Good God. Wow. And we got a cartoon show to do tomorrow, Jerome.
I know we do.
Thank God.
Good luck.
Well, thank God I only have to press buttons because it's Rose's show tomorrow.
It's Rose's show tomorrow. Yeah, thank God.
I can sleep on camera and she can just.
I don't even have next week's show planned yet, so
that's all right. We do good in shortcomings. So, but it's a serious conversation that we've had. I don't know anybody else that's done it, but the questions that we don't have answers to, but we do have answers to common sense. Okay, we do know what we would do. But we can't speak for everybody because there are some rabid fans out there who don't give a damn about this. I need to be with my friends.
Yep.
And that's the problem. So, if Dragon Con gets shut down, can you imagine we already got enough police that are on site? Any one of them can say, hey, look, they're not following the rules. We're shutting you down. Can you imagine that?
Yep.
Hey. You guys were fantastic. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play us out. Oh, my God. There's a lot of comments that were here. Oh, you guys did it in the private chat, so I can't put it up on the screen. Eric is asking, Lee is asking, what is the hat you're wearing? I have a coin to challenge you with.
You mean my Marine Corps hat? my veterans Marine Corps hat?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Semper Fi. So you got it. Yeah, Eric was Marine. He's a jarhead.
Okay.
It's hard.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I actually have a challenge coin from an organization that is now part of the Gary Sinise Foundation. It's for Gold Star Kids. And this coin outranks every other coin, including the president.
Wow. Awesome. Okay, look, guys, I'm going to play us out. you guys can go ahead and jump off and go do your thing. I don't have any reason to talk to you afterward. I just want to say
thank you.
Yeah, I tried to put it as nicely as possible, but you guys were
I
on
love
here
you.
for
Bye-bye.
a reason.
We love you, Mark.
You guys were on for a reason. I hope you realize that, right? I mean, I could have chose anybody else other than you guys, but I went for you guys. So I appreciate it. I knew I would get a great show with you guys, and you have definitely did it. So this is a video from Bill Hatfield at an away mission. This is one of the things that we love about going to cons and not having to be pushed around like cattle. This is when we stop, okay, and recognize the atmosphere that we are in. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight after 3 hours, 15 minutes. This was an incredible show on what we've lost in 2020. So take a listen. You guys can hang around and watch. If not, I will see you guys next time. Love you too, Jen. Here we go. Hey, thanks, guys.